Get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Super Bowl champion. Andrew Marsh, potentially the 101 ESPN fantasy football champion. You never know.
Whoa.
I'm Anthony Stalter. Potentially the champion of the 101 ESPN Fast Lane Rizzuto Show NFL Pick'em Challenge. Refreshed by Bud Light.
Which one? You're just saying one of us?
No. I went around the whole thing. I did the whole thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Super Bowl champion Carey Davis, but Andrew Marsh potentially fantasy football champion.
I got to beat Carey first.
I know. That's why I said potentially.
Getting the guy that I wanted.
Yeah, well, it happens. My camera is off. All you see is from here down. Don't touch it. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
You just showing the logo or what?
All you can see is from my mouth down. It's
Okay.
crazy.
All right,
I'll fix it.
Thank you, Carey. People want to see you. People want to see
that
you.
beautiful smile.
Exactly. Come on now. So we start off the show with the Blues loss last night to the New Jersey Devils. I want to actually start off with some audio here from Colton Parayko. So we don't always break right into the audio, but it kind of sets up a question that I have for you guys in relation to the 4-1 loss. So here's Colton Parayko last night on why there wasn't a better response. I believe this is from the third period, but listen to what Parayko said, and then I got a question for you guys.
I don't know. I guess I don't necessarily have that answer right now. I haven't really seen, but obviously, yeah, frustrating. But I think as a group, we continue to push in the right direction, and I think we're at least finding more habits and little details like that. And they were a good team over there, obviously, and they capitalized on a couple chances and shifted the game. But all in all, I think we have some things to build on, obviously. But yeah, it would be obviously a better start in the third, I think.
So the Blues fall to the Devils 4-1, and Parayko was asked about maybe why wasn't there a better response in the third period? There's been a lot of discussion about the Blues' slow start overall, and it's kind of a trend. There's no question that the Blues, in my mind, are a better team right now under Jim Montgomery than they were under Drew Bannister. You watch these games, even last night, the Blues really never seized that game. They never had control. The Devils, it felt like they had control all the way throughout, and we'll kind of get into some of the minute details of the game. But is it a lack of a fast start, or teams like the Devils or teams like the Stars just kind of showing us that, yeah, while the Blues are a good team, they're not good enough yet? And I'm not being critical. This is not me hammering the Blues because they lost last night 4-1. I just see a decided edge still in overall talent, play, execution from a team like the Devils than I do the Blues. I think the Blues will eventually get there, but I don't know if it's just, we started slow. I don't think you're good enough yet.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that may be the case. And again, for me, the expectations, I said this before, I wasn't going to ride the roller coaster, and I'm still not. I'm not going to be too high. You all had them winning the Stanley Cup a couple of weeks ago. It's fine. But, they traded for Cam Fowler. You texted me and it's done. Right? I was like, what? Like, Stanley Cup is coming back to St. Louis. I was like, whoa.
Who texted you that?
You guys. I got the message. It's in my phone. But either way.
I mean.
So, you did. Marshy was ecstatic. He was like, this is it. I'm like, whoa.
I don't remember.
I can read it through the
had
text.
a few drinks that Saturday, but
he doesn't remember.
I don't remember doing that.
I got you. It's all up here. But the expectation for this team coming into the season was maybe, if all things fall into place, a fringe playoff team. They haven't made the playoffs in the last couple of years. They are transitioning into becoming a team. This is not a seal it, a fix it right now type of deal. This is it's going to be a process. And I think the part that fans don't understand is it's not something that you can't turn over a roster and automatically be a championship team after not making the playoffs in 2 years. Unless you trade for some of the best players in the league and they all gel. Even if you do, that doesn't mean they'll gel and be a championship
that's
team.
Nashville.
It happens, right? Yeah. But if they're able to gel, then possibly. But this is a process. They are a younger team. They've added some older veteran players in Suter and Cam Fowler. You got guys that have been in the league 10, 15 plus years. That's wonderful. Now, allow it to, you still got to get over the ugly parts. Like, there were some ugly parts here the last couple of years. There have been times where you felt like this team didn't play an entire 60 minutes. There have been times, and when that is your, or has been your MO, it doesn't disappear overnight. Mm-hmm. And this is the part where I tell people when they, well, you trade, the Philadelphia Phillies fired their manager and they went to the World Series. Those things don't normally happen. They fired Craig Brewer. They fired Hitchcock. They got Craig Brewer. We went to the Stanley Cup. Okay. Like, you get a handful of those. It does not always work that way.
It was Mike Yo, but yeah.
Mike Yo, excuse me. Yeah. But that's not how it always works, right? It doesn't always go that way. So be patient. Understand that this is a team. It is a work in progress. They are trying to figure out things. They are trying to figure out how to play a full 60-minute game. And then guess what? You're going to play some teams that are better than you are right now, and you're going to get your teeth kicked in. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just part of sports. When the team is better than you and they've been doing it longer, they've been together longer, they're going to kick your teeth in sometimes, and you got to get up and you got to play the next game.
I think frustration comes from expectations. And so a game like last night, you already played this team, right? And you played them in their home barn and you shut them out. Mm-hmm. So you're thinking, oh, well, I mean, they should be able to hang with them. They should be able to beat them again. That's just not how it really works. And, you know, I think that frustration for fans comes from seeing this team be able to put together a full 60 minutes multiple times throughout the year, but not enough to where you feel comfortable thinking that they're a playoff team. And so I think that's why fans could be frustrated, like, man, like, what is going on here? And plus, they're not winning at home.
Yeah,
that's a huge thing. And so fans that are paying to go watch this team play, they're under 500 at home, and that could rub some people the wrong way as well.
Yeah, that's true. You're 6-8-1 at home this year. You're going to the stadium. It almost feels like people want to get on board. They want to jump on board, and they've been that way since the start of the season. But it's just been that inconsistent nature, that roller coaster that Carey's trying to avoid here.
I'm not getting on.
The roller coaster is here.
Yeah, you're more like on the Joker. Like, it swings back and forth.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
Yeah.
You don't like the Joker?
Is that the one that goes, like, to the top, stops, and then it's like, wasn't that like the Pirates of the Caribbean thing? Is that the same thing?
The big boat.
Yeah, I'm cool.
That where, like, rocks back and forth.
I don't see the point in those. Like, roller coasters are, they're dangerous. Mm-hmm. Physically and mentally.
They're thrilling.
You say thrilling, I say dangerous. Depends on how you view it. Maybe I'm a pessimist. I don't think that they're safe. I told you all, I get in those things, and my seatbelt doesn't lock like everyone. This guy's locked down. Mine is out here. Why?
Probably big and strong.
Maybe. Big strong guy.
Yeah.
Big strong guy.
Put people in hospitals.
Yeah, probably. But not myself on a roller coaster.
No.
Not riding the Blues roller coaster either. I'm staying off of that thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
I thought last night, too, guys, when Binnington he stole you a point in Dallas, nearly stole you the game. Binnington wasn't as sharp last night. I think that factors in. Far from the biggest issue last night. I just thought there was 0 rebound opportunities, 0 second chance opportunities for the Blues. I thought the shots were it wasn't even quality over quantity for the Blues last night. I didn't think they had either. And the Devils, there was a couple of second chance opportunities that they capitalized on. I mean, the first goal, it shoots off the wall there and right to whoever wound up scoring that first goal, and he put it right over Binnington's shoulder. That's a tough one, man. Mm-hmm. To fire that pass right off the wall and have it bounce almost tape to tape right to the guy. That's a tough one. But I thought there was too much space created by New Jersey last night. Again, too many second chance opportunities that the Devils capitalized on, and the Blues flat out didn't have. I didn't think that was a runaway. I thought that was still, the game was still there going into the third period.
There was life when Kyrou scored.
When you pulled the goalie.
9 minutes, we got a chance.
That certainly paid off in that moment, but...
And maybe that's the positive entertainment aspect of this team, is where you feel like, all right, they're not necessarily out of it. They could be down 3-0 heading into the third period, and, I kind of want to stay the whole game just because I've seen in the past they've made comebacks, Now, they haven't won some of these games, but they've made it interesting. And, like, that's kind of part of the reason why you go and see a game is for the entertainment value. And that's entertaining in itself. But,
Sure.
You definitely want to come home with a victory. And unfortunately for the Blues, they didn't last night. And that's going to happen. Like, you played a really good you played a team that's better than you. And they beat you.
And they beat you.
And it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Blues at Lightning tomorrow night. Pregame starting right here on 101 ESPN at 5 o'clock. The Blues have back-to-back games on the East Coast, down in Florida. In fact, they got the Lightning and Panthers. Again, both pregames right here on 101 ESPN starting at 5 o'clock. Are the Cardinals shifting their focus, or are they taking a step back? Katie Wu of The Athletic and Trevor Rosenthal, former Cardinals reliever, they do a podcast together now, and Trevor Rosenthal made a comment that almost seemed like the two things were they should go hand in hand, but he's more indicating that they are taking a step back. We'll get into it next on 101 ESPN. Athletic, who covers the Cardinals for the website, does a podcast with Trevor Rosenthal, former Cardinals reliever. And this was the two of them. This is Trevor Rosenthal talking on Cardinal territory about the Cardinals shifting their focus rather than taking a step back. I had teased that he had mentioned that the Cardinals are taking a step back. It's actually the opposite. So here's Trevor Rosenthal on the Cardinals shifting their focus rather than taking a step back.
For me, it's trying to not look at this year, maybe the next couple of years, as necessarily a step back, but just a shift in focus. And, talking about the player development side, it is important. And maybe, I know there's been a lot of criticism and talk about the Cardinals being behind, and that may or may not be the case. But I think it is smart to kind of reprioritize that aspect of the organization, because I say that because a lot of other teams have done that. And it's been evident that teams are focusing more resources on the younger players and developing them to get them to the top. And we all know professional sports is ultra competitive. And if you're not constantly keeping an eye on the future and improving little things here and there, you will fall behind. And whether or not that's the case in St. Louis, I'm not sure. But I'm excited for the fact that they have made a commitment to reprioritize. And I believe that is a smart investment.
I agree with him from the standpoint of, the Cardinals, I don't think, are necessarily taking a step back on purpose in order to get realigned here. I think that this is just a necessity. They have got to make sure that they stop what they were doing. It wasn't working anymore. So maybe this is just semantics, but how do you push forward if what you're doing is not working? It's very difficult, right?
Yeah.
So you could become this team or this organization that throws a whole bunch of money at the problem. We have seen that work, and we've seen that not work. The Phillies, it has worked. They haven't won a World Series yet, but they've been to one. Mm-hmm. They're obviously, they were a World Series favorite, maybe not the favorite, co-favorites, the second best team, however, going into last year. So that worked. They threw a whole bunch of money at their problem, and it's working. The New York Mets 2 years ago did the same thing. It did not work. They wound up trading Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer at the deadline, and having to kind of pivot. The Cardinals could become that franchise, but what they could not do is remain half in, half out. And what I mean by that is we'll spend some money, but we're not going to just go above and beyond in free agency, and that's going to be our main approach. They had been signing guys like Wilson Contreras, going further back, your Dexter Fowlers, your Mike Leakes. They made the two big trades for Goldschmidt and Arenado. It's kind of like they had one big move of the offseason. They kept adding those guys. But it really, the approach wasn't working.
Right.
It wasn't enough emphasis on pitching. And then they kind of pivoted and they signed Sonny Gray. But then you still have two big holes left in your rotation. You fill them with kind of, one year stopgaps. The vision wasn't there. So I don't know if they're necessarily taking this massive step back, but I do think there is a shift in focus so that we could say, okay, I don't know what this year's going to be, but I do know 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to win in the future. That is what I see from the Cardinals, and it's been long needed.
I think the future is bright. I would put the Blues and the Cardinals kind of in that same boat. You've had two organizations here that have missed the playoffs consecutive years, not had great seasons to their standards. The Cardinals, I think the Blues started earlier, right? They figured out, well, we gotta make some moves. We got to do something different and go in this, not in a youth movement like the Cardinals are, but just start to move and shift things in the direction that we need to. I think the Cardinals have done that as well. They are, in my opinion, going with a youth movement. We're going to play these younger players, and in 3 to 5 years, you're going to have some of the best sports in St. Louis. That like both of those teams together at the same time having a lot of success. But it's going to take time, right? It's going to say, all right, Mosaic, the way we've been going about it, instead of trusting our farm system, instead of trusting the development of our players, let's stop going out and signing older players, older veteran players that can come in here and fill a void instead of allowing the younger players to, can you play? Is this person good? Why are you here? if I can't put you in a position to have success? Like, that's how this works. You have to draft, evaluate, draft, and bring those people along. And hopefully they are in your system for the next 5, 10, 15 years if you're able to re-sign them and keep them there. That's the goal, not to go out and sign a one-year guy with another year of an option if we choose to go that route.
Right.
That's not
or a 31-year-old 4-year deal, and you're not getting the best.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not sustainable. It's not the way to have longevity. It's a way to maybe put yourself in a position to maybe make the playoffs, and if all things go right, we can have a run here. But that's not year after year after year. We are playoff contenders. We are viable options to potentially win a World Series or a Stanley Cup. And I think both of those organizations have made that decision. We're going to suffer right now. It's not going, but you're already suffering. We've missed the playoffs, so whatever, right? We're going to suffer for a time, and then it's going to be greater later. Like that, and I think the Cardinals finally figured that out. Because the last couple of years, I'm like, dude, what are y'all doing?
And it's not even, you use the term suffering, CD, and it's not even going to be a suffering from the standpoint of like the White Sox
there
suffering.
You go. Because that's suffering.
And I actually think, and maybe I'm wrong on this, love to hear the listeners chime in as well. I think that's where some of the confusion comes in. Where it's like, well, you guys say that they're going to stink, but look at the roster. Mm-hmm. No, what we're saying is they're at least going to be as competitive as they have been. Mm-hmm. But we know that's not good enough. And it's not good enough, and it's not going to change if they don't realign their vision. They need to go down a new path as opposed to, well, we're always developing pitchers. We're good there, but we don't have enough offense. Let's do a complete pivot. We'll go all offense. Oh,
correct.
Oh, God, our pitching's not good enough. And now
trade for Marcell Ozuna and get rid of.
Exactly.
And then we're going to, like, you go too far in one direction, and now you just be even keel. Mm-hmm. Like, make the decision, draft the players, bring in the players that you think can help your team, help your organization, evaluate them, draft them, and get them prepared.
Right.
And then give them an opportunity. Because if you do all of the other things and then they're not allowed an opportunity because you got other guys blocking them, then what are you doing? Mm-hmm. What's the purpose? What's the purpose of preparing this player and then not giving and having them on a short rope? Like, right. You swing at that outside sinker again, outside that slider away. We're gonna, where you're gonna. Right. I can't even mess up.
Yep.
So give me an opportunity to fail, so that when the time comes, I'm able to actually have the success that I know that you all have told me that I can have, that I believe that I can have, and we can have a great team.
Yeah.
I do think the Cardinals are taking a step back. Like, they are reshifting their focus, but they are taking a step back in terms of what our expectations are. I talked about expectations in the first segment when we were talking about the Blues in last night's game. Like, the expectations for Cardinals baseball is to be elite.
Yeah.
Right. And they set that expectation themselves over the course of the past 20 years. So from that perspective, they are taking a step back. They already have taken a step back, but that doesn't necessarily mean that taking a step back is a bad thing, right? Like when you're in a confrontation, hey, buddy, take a step back. Like, let's reassess what's going on here, right? So they're reassessing what they need to do. What's so funny?
I was just thinking about, was it Biz? He was taking a bunch of steps back. He kept backing up.
Hey, who's that?
The hockey player.
Paul Bissonnette.
Oh, Bissonnette.
He took on 6 or 7 Irish.
He was backing up through that entire parking lot. He's, hey, I'm out of here. All right.
I'm coming at you. Let's go.
But they are taking a step back, and it stinks, right? Because we want the Cardinals to be good, but this is the best thing for the organization, and we just have to be patient. I think a lot of fans, though, and you talk about, well, the Blues and the Cardinals are going to be good in 5 years. I think the questions are they going to be good? Can they actually get this right? I think that's the big question.
Yeah, but we don't know. There's no guarantees.
Exactly.
So I think that might be part of the frustration, Marsh. I think you just illustrated that very well. You're a Cardinals fan. Maybe you're listening to the show and you're like, well, there's no guarantees that what they're going to do, what they're doing, a shift into the youth and the development, all that. There's no guarantee that they're going to be good in 3 years. So what are you guys even talking about? Fair, but I don't know if they're going to be good in 3 years. I do know that this approach that they have been taking, this half foot in, half foot out, doesn't work. And if you wonder, if I have any examples, look at this team since they lost the NLCS in 2019. Because this has been the approach.
I think the worst thing for this team was the fact that they even got to the NLCS in 2019. I think it gave them false hope of what they actually were.
That may be the case. You know what I think the pivot point was.
It was pitching.
It was the Ozuna trade.
Oh, yeah.
It was the Ozuna trade. And I know, Carey, you and I have gotten into debates and arguments over that. You don't think as much about that. I get it.
I can't. You just can't predict injuries.
Well, and who's to say that those two pitchers...
To me, the pitching... Yeah, maybe
based on what we know now on their development system, who's to say
maybe
those two guys were even going to be good in this organization?
Very true. Yeah. I do know, though, that Sandy Alcantara won a Cy Young and Zach Gallen wound up being a top of the rotation arm. You're right. Maybe the course of history changes if they're here. I just know 2 years of Ozuna and giving up two top-end pitchers set this organization back big time. Like, we could debate whether or not they should have done it, could have, all that. Look, hindsight being what it is, in my opinion, that was the beginning of the end for the Cardinals. Just like letting Pietrangelo walk was kind of the beginning of what we're seeing over the last couple of years with the Blues. And credit Doug Armstrong. He has been aggressive in trying to make up for some missteps, which are going to happen. The Cardinals have been less so. Oh, well, what are you going to do? We'll
be patient.
We'll add a guy here or there. We'll sign a catcher that's no longer a catcher. Like, you haven't been aggressive in atoning for what I think was the biggest mistake over the last 7-8 years. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. So I get migraines. Got a migraine last night. They impact my vision.
Really?
Yeah. It's almost like if you look at a kaleidoscope in one eye.
Really?
Yeah. They're nasty. It's like I get an aura. What's called an aura. They impact my vision. I can barely see. I know at that point I got to lay down. That's what I did. But right before I laid down, right when I was getting an aura, I put one hand over the one eye that had the aura, and I squinted. A text message from Andrew Marsh. And even though I had a migraine, it's the greatest migraine I ever had. That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues fall to the New Jersey Devils last night by a final score of 4-1. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. If you have missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you will find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Man, Anthony was having a real bad night last night. And then this one piece of information changed his entire evening. We'll talk about that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It is amazing how one thing can turn around your entire mood. Know what I mean, guys? You guys ever been there? Having a rough day?
Yeah.
Maybe you drop a meatball lunch all over the floor.
You were hungry.
I was hungry.
Yeah.
Maybe Georgia gets snake from you in the college football 101 ESPN Fast Lane draft.
Yeah, that did happen too. Right after you dropped
My kid's gym teacher, I was dropping off the kids this morning. He goes, Georgia got taken from you. He goes, I was dying. I go, yeah. Then last night, guys, I was just talking about I get migraines from time to time. Anybody that gets migraines know that sometimes, mine always come with them, but for some people they don't always do it, but they come with an aura. They impact my vision. They're like almost like lightning bolts that get into your vision. Yeah.
I've had those.
They're nasty.
Yeah.
And the worse that the aura gets, the faster the migraine's coming. So, got a migraine coming on last night. And got the kids down. Said, hey, Kristen, I got to lay down. And for whatever reason, I was plugging my phone. I looked down. And it's text message from our guy Marsh. And the text message read, Kirky football is done. I knew what it meant.
You knew exactly.
I knew exactly what it meant.
And I went to ESPN and looked it up myself.
I didn't even have to.
I wanted to make sure that I wasn't, we can follow the context. We can understand how each other writes messages and things like that. We understood what it meant, but I needed to see it for myself. And Anthony, I shed a bit of a tear.
Thank you.
A tear of joy because I know. I didn't know how much pain you were in, but I knew in that moment you were elated.
I was. I certainly was. And it took me, I had to cover up the one eye that had all the lightning bolts and stuff to look at this and actually said, bye-bye, Kirky football is what Marsh texted.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
And I laid down, despite the migraine. I laid down with a big-ass smile on my face.
Smile on your face.
Yeah. So the Falcons have benched Kirk Cousins, as you know, for Michael Penix Jr. I've been calling for this since April. As soon as they drafted Penix, they said, why don't we go ahead and bench Kirk Cousins now? People are like, well, you can't do that. They gave him a whole bunch of money. I'm like, I don't care. Money's spent anyways. Let's get the better quarterback on the field. So I'm fired up for that. But I'm listening to all the reaction to it now, and a lot of people are piling on because the Falcons are perceived to completely muck up their offseason. They bring in Cousins. They give him all this money. Everybody loved the move, by the way. I didn't hear any criticisms on the move. National people loved the signing of Cousins. They also, you had Desmond Ridder last year. This is great. They all loved the roster at the time. People loved that move. And as soon as they selected Penix with the 8th overall pick, that was the beginning of the end of people liking the move. They didn't understand it. They hated it. And now people are piling on saying, well, why did you sign Cousins in the first place? That is what I thought was their big mistake. Not drafting Penix. Could they have known that Penix was going to be there? No. Now, you could say, well, J.J. McCarthy was going to be there, or Penix was going to be there, Bo Nix was going to be there. But if the Falcons love Michael Penix and they didn't care for Bo Nix or J.J. McCarthy, then that argument's kind of moot. I think they would have gone with one of the pass rushers or trade down or whatever had Penix been gone. But they fell in love with him. They liked they loved him. Here we go. I didn't like the signing of Kirk Cousins, especially coming off the Achilles injury. 36 years old, he's coming off the Achilles injury. One playoff win, a whole bunch of yardage in the regular season. People kind of fall in love with Cousins. Oh, look at the numbers, look at the numbers, look at the numbers. He was coming off the Achilles. Outside of 2 games against Tampa, guy's been terrible. Mm-hmm. His numbers are Tommy DeVito-esque over his last 5 games. Sorry, Carey.
Don't talk about Tommy like that.
1-4, 9 interceptions, 1 touchdown. I thought they should have made the move after the Chargers loss when he threw the 4 picks. They should have made the move then. I definitely would have made it after the Minnesota game. Okay, he got his little Minnesota thing. All right, that's done. He got his ass kicked. Let Penix time. But now that they're making the move, you might as well. You cannot go into Washington next week in what could be a playoff game with Kirk Cousins not throwing the ball on first down, which is what they didn't do against the Raiders, by the way. Did not throw a pass on first down with Cousins on Monday night.
So that's not his fault.
Not one.
That's not his fault.
What does it tell you, though, Carey?
That tells me that's a terrible game plan.
No, what does that tell you about their trust for Kirk Cousins?
That's not his fault. If they don't throw the ball
it's not his fault that he sucks. I agree with that. It's not his fault that he's in the game.
It's not his fault if they don't throw a pass on first down. You're essentially telling the defense, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Like, you can't run the ball every first down to try to get it to be 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5. Mm-hmm. You can't be afraid to be 2nd and 10. Like, that is not his fault. Now, with that being said, it is also not his fault that he was signed to the contract that he was signed to. I had no problem with it. I also didn't have a problem with them drafting Penix because I feel like that. Yeah, almost.
Mm-hmm. People in the snake pit have been begging for it.
I also didn't have a problem with them drafting Michael Penix Jr. because you draft the best player available. You went and got the quarterback in Kirk Cousins to solidify your quarterback room. You don't know if Michael Penix is going to drop to you. You have no idea. And when he did, you draft the highest player on your board. I was telling you in the office, they probably had Jaden Daniels on there. They probably had Drake May. They probably had Caleb Williams, but knew that those 3 players would be gone. Mm-hmm. And if you have an option of the other 3 that you had, Penix, Bo Nix, and J.J. McCarthy, they might not have viewed those 2 as highly. They might have had Michael Penix as the highest player on their board. So if he falls to them, you got to draft him. It doesn't matter what you just did in terms of getting you really just got lucky. It worked out for you. And you watch Kirk Cousins play. And then you say, you know what, this ain't good enough. Now I was telling you all, it's not all on Kirk, but he cannot, in my opinion, perform at a level that can withstand everything around him not being done properly. He can't withstand the offensive line not holding up for a degree because he can't move.
Yeah.
He's unable to escape the pocket. He's unable to elude pass rushers when they're in his face.
Yes.
If it's not on time, when I watch Kirk Cousins catch and throw, 3-step drop, get the ball out quickly, it's not bad. But you can't do that, and maybe that's why they're running on first down to get it to a shorter down and distance.
Correct.
Because if you have to drop back 5, 7, you have to play action pass, you have to take some routes that are going to take time. His decision making seems to be a little bit slower and not able to get that done. Mm-hmm. But you should have known that when you signed him.
Agreed.
So none of this
took a risk.
They did, and here's the funny thing: if they don't take that risk, Michael Penix Jr. might not fall to him in that spot. It's just how the way of the world is. Mm-hmm. So it all worked out. You can move on from Kirk Cousins because you did draft a quarterback in the first round. He's going to get an opportunity this weekend, and I'm sure he's going to, he can't be much worse.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's going to be better than what Kirk Cousins has been the last few weeks.
It can't be worse.
I'm just thinking, I'm like playing this scenario out in my head of what if this was me? What if I was the one who had to endure this guy for another 4 years?
Right.
You know?
The Vikings are smart, though. They told him flat out. They said, hey, we're going to draft your replacement, but we love you. We want you at least here for another year. And Kirk said, nope, I want to start. Neither side was wrong. But the Vikings knew they needed to move on. They were upfront about it. The Falcons weren't. That's why Kirk Cousins didn't know. He's driving home from a draft party hosted by the Falcons. He's driving home, and Zach Robinson, the OC, called him and said, hey, we just drafted Penix. And Cousins was floored.
Yeah, because the writing is on the
I
wall.
don't know. I wouldn't have signed Cousins, but if Penix is there,
choice.
you don't know. You don't know either. This is the one thing I haven't heard anybody talk about. Let's say they don't sign Cousins. They're all in on the draft. We're going to get one of these QBs. Well, now everybody and their cousins know. No pun intended. Mm-hmm. Now everybody knows the Falcons need a quarterback. Maybe the Raiders move up. Maybe your Vikings move up. Nobody saw that coming because they took Cousins.
Yeah.
It's still a buttload of money that they're not going to have next year. There's no way around that. Anybody criticizing them for wasting all that money for next year and the first 2 years of Penix rookie deal is absolutely right. You cannot erase that. You're either going to have a $25 million quarterback being a backup, or you're going to have to take on a cap hit of about $65 million. The Broncos are going through it this year with Russell Wilson.
They're doing pretty good, though.
They're doing pretty good. It's not if you have the right quarterback, you can overcome that. Mm-hmm. Now the next thing is, will Penix play well? We'll find out.
He better.
He's got the Giants up first, so I would like to think that at home that against the Giants that they'll play well. But that's the next step. First step was bye-bye Kirky football. Mm-hmm. It's a new day, guys.
New dawn. It's a new day.
Damn right.
Nina Simone.
What?
Nina Simone. We learned that yesterday.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Right.
It's okay.
And who else, Marsh?
And Michael Bublé.
There it is.
Yeah, he did it second.
Yeah.
Are the dominoes starting to fall this offseason, or do we need to be more patient when it comes to the Cardinals trading Nolan Arenado? That's next on 101 ESPN. Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
Football is hard.
You're ticking me off today, Carey. You are. This is supposed to be a good day, and you're ticking me off.
You're gonna be even more upset when I show you this play.
Whatever.
Watch this guy run. It's a good route.
Is it Kyle Pitts?
Oh.
Of course it's Kyle Pitts.
You talk about it.
He's the laziest guy. This is something that keeps getting brought up with him. They're not using him right. No, he's not running routes. He's lazy.
That's ridiculous.
He rounds off everything. He's terrible. He don't work hard.
Yeah. But, All
right, moving on. Are the dominoes starting to fall with Nolan Arenado when it comes to this offseason, or do we still need to be patient when it comes to the Cardinals trading Arenado? Here's Katie Wu on Cardinal Territory, the podcast, saying that a trade might not be imminent for Nolan Arenado.
What I think fans need to realize or try to understand is that this is not a decision that anyone's taking lightly, right? I'm sure the Cardinals want to move Nolan. They want to know what they have, or at least, have some clarity on his market. But I think Nolan is sitting here saying, hey, I'm going to be 34 next year. I'm not sure. This is probably going to be the last time I have a say in my future. I can see, and this is just my speculation, I can see him drawing out this decision to make sure he gets it right. If the Astros are one of many teams, I've heard the Yankees have been circulating some interest, maybe the Red Sox are a fit, definitely some middle market teams as well. But we know the priorities for Nolan right now. It's a place that's winning now and a place that's built to win for the rest of his career. Is that the Astros? Is that the Red Sox? Is that the Yankees? We don't know. But I think it's important for us to all realize this is a major decision for him, and he might not be necessarily rushing to it.
I don't think the one big domino has fallen yet, and that's Alex Bregman. Mm-hmm. That's the one big domino that has to fall here. Once that happens, that'll be the top third baseman off the market. Then teams start to look at what they have, where they're at, judge whether or not they want to make a move, like a trade for Nolan Arenado.
Right.
And then the Cardinals can move forward here. But I don't think there's a robust market. I think the Astros make sense. It sounds like the Yankees and Red Sox have checked in on Nolan Arenado, but the Dodgers are reportedly not interested. Where else is he going to go? I think it's kind of like the Astros, the Red Sox, the Yankees. That's it. He's not going to want to go to a non-contender. This is a limited market.
I mean, because he's getting paid regardless of where he goes. So I'm sure it is a championship or bust caliber move for him. I got to be in a place where I have an opportunity to win a championship. Otherwise, I'm not going to be traded. I don't want to be traded. I can stay here. I've been here for 4 years now, 3 or 4 years now. I'm comfortable here.
Yeah. I
don't have to go anywhere. So in my opinion, it will be a situation where he feels like a championship is on the table. But the Cardinals are probably, as Katie was saying, they probably are more eager to move on from him because you got to see what you got. Mm-hmm. You got guys that need at bats. They need opportunities in the field. They have to play so that you can decide if this person is a player for the future, a player for right now until I get someone to replace him, or this person can't play at all. We got to find something out right now.
Right.
But you can't do that. You can't find out if Nolan Gorman can play third base if Nolan Arenado is still here.
Yeah.
And you can put him at second base, but then you got Brendan Donovan at left field because he needs to play. He's the one. He's been consistent. He's earned the right to play every day, right? So he has to play. Then you got Lars Newbar. Where do you put him? So I think it behooves the Cardinals to find a way to get him on a team that he feels comfortable being on and moving to and getting the deal done.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to get what you want in return, but what you need most is that position open. The money off the books, probably not going to happen. You're going to be paying the majority of that salary, but you need the position because you got bodies that need to play to know who can and who can't.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you look, though, at the other – from the Cardinals' perspective, you broke that down perfectly. So it is important now to move on from him, free up that spot like you're talking about. But if you look at the teams that could potentially need a third baseman, 2 of them, I think, are in the NL Central. Milwaukee, and then I don't know what's going on with Brian Hayes with Pittsburgh.
He ain't going to Pittsburgh.
Exactly. He's not going to Milwaukee either.
Right.
So you look at it all right, well, Dodgers. Well, Dodgers say no. Dodgers apparently not interested. Minnesota, as of right now, they got Jose Miranda. Detroit, Matt Vierling. But I highly doubt he wants to go to Detroit.
Detroit made the playoffs, but are they a championship caliber team?
No.
Okay. So for me, it's only, 2 or 3 of those teams available, maybe 4.
Correct.
And if they can't get a deal done with them, you're in a. So what do you do then?
Minnesota has Royce Lewis. So
what do you do then?
Just throw them out.
At that point, what do you do if you're the Cardinals?
At that point, you hang on to him. What choice do you have?
You got another choice.
Just flat out release him?
Yeah. You can go wherever you want to go. You're already getting paid. If nobody else wants you, and you're going to retain the majority of the salary,
then?
because you need to be. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
You have to open up that spot. Like you have, and this is not a knock on Nolan Arenado, but if he's not in the future, you have to figure out what the future is. You can't be. And do I think that they should just release him, waive him, and let him go, and you pay a salary? No, but it is an option. I mean, we're watching NFL teams do it, and they never do it with quarterbacks. Right? We're watching them pay people to go home and sit on the couch. Or go play for another team, and we'll pay you 99% of your salary, whatever the case is. So I think the most important part for the Cardinals is figuring out if your goal is to figure out this thing and have it corrected in 3 to 5 years, you probably can't have Nolan Arenado on this window because on this roster because it doesn't give someone an opportunity to figure out who they are.
Yeah,
and that's the most important thing.
I think they'll wind up trading him. I do. Just my opinion, but I think they'll wind up trading him. I think they'll wind up finding a partner. I do not think they're just going to outright release him.
I don't either, but it is an option.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Blues certainly better, but are they consistent enough to win games against the top opponents? Well, recently we've seen that might not be the case. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and let me tell you about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made to help your business and your schedule and your budget. If you're a contractor or a business that owns recycling, that needs recycling, you need to know more about Scrap Mart Metals. They understand that job site cleanup for contractors can be a mess, but if you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber, you're into heating and cooling, an excavator, or any type of contractor, Scrap Mart Metals can make your job easier. If you own heavy equipment, it breaks down time and time again. It gets frustrating. You have to repair it over and over again. But eventually the time will come when you have to get rid of it. Scrap Mart will come get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it yourself, they got 3 convenient locations, Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. Just go to scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can help you get a business account set up and get you rolling. Again, that's scrapmartmetals.com and tell them Carey sent you.
Blues fall last night to the New Jersey Devils 4-1 at Enterprise Center. It's the Fast Line on 101 ESPN 3:04. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Are the Blues better, but are they still... The Blues are better, period. Full stop on that. The Blues are better under Jim Montgomery. Arrow is pointing up. But as we've discussed, the Stars game, while you stole a point thanks to Jordan Binnington, and then last night against the Devils, those teams are better. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong saying that. I don't think the expectations, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I don't think the expectations for this Blues team was like, hey, Western Conference Finals. I thought they could be a playoff team. I think they could, and I still do. They have to show some consistency. They clearly have still a ways to go when it comes to executing against the top teams. Last night, I thought was a perfect example of it. You gave up way too much time and space in the defensive zone. The Devils took advantage of it. And Binnington wasn't as sharp as we have normally seen him be sharp. Wasn't as sharp as he was in Dallas, certainly. I thought the second chance opportunities were there all night for New Jersey, and they were not there for the Blues. And I didn't see the Blues generate enough offense last night, put themselves in a good spot to potentially steal that one, to come back and steal that one. You're not as good as the upper echelon teams in either conference. I'm stating the obvious, but I think if we look at this Blues team, I think we can both things can be true. We can have appreciation for them getting better under Montgomery, but still realize there's some work to be done.
There is, and I think it's okay to just a text from I think it was 816 says, we are in a rebuild, in all caps, because that should be the expectation. When you're in a rebuild or a retool or whatever word you want to call it.
Well, I think those are different, though.
I do too.
Maybe he misspoke or she misspoke. Maybe it's a retool. But it's still, you're working to get better. Like, you're not a finished product. And so when you're not a finished product, that means there are things that you lack, that you don't do particularly well, that you have to work on to be better at, because good teams play a full 60 minutes. They finish the game. They start well. They finish well. They play well in the middle. This is a team that is still learning all of the things that are required to be. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. This is the third coach you've had in 2 years.
Right.
So let's be right. Like the expectation or the notion that, well, why aren't they playing well? Because this is the third coach they've had in 2 years. Because they're trying to get better. They're working to get better. They are not a finished product yet. And if you think that they should be, then you probably are a foolish person. No disrespect. With all due respect.
Blind, maybe a blind optimist.
Maybe foolish.
That just sounds so negative.
I said
blind optimist.
I said with all due respect.
It doesn't mean you can say whatever you want.
Sure as heck does. It's in the Geneva Convention.
Sure as heck does. All right, why don't we hear from Jim Montgomery? Because one of the things, as you talk about, Carey, because you're right, it's not a finished product. Okay, well, what are some of the habits that Jim Montgomery wants to see fixed while this team continues to kind of find its way?
Well, I want us to play north quicker. I want defensemen to look to take middle ice, and I want our forwards to push out and stretch the ice. So it's not five guys close together. It's not that easy to check us. We accepted being checked tonight.
Marsh, you know better than Carey and I, because you played the game and you got a hockey eye.
I resent that.
Well, it's kind of like you're the Blues, Carey, and he's the Devils for this conversation.
I don't want to be the devil.
The New Jersey.
No, the Devils.
Like the New Jersey, like Jersey Devil.
Yeah,
correct.
Is that that's like a mythical creature, I think.
The New Jersey Devil Advocate is who you are.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. You got an eye for this. It does still seem like there's some indecisiveness with the Blues when it comes to the puck. Not as much as there was under Drew Bannister. But now there still seems to be a little hesitancy. Whereas like last night when the Devils, they got the puck off the walls, I I know exactly where I'm going with it. I'm going up top shelf. I'm going over Binnington's shoulder. He's going to be slightly out of position. I'm good. Do you see that or no?
Yeah, they're not in sync. And not like the boy band.
No,
not the boy band. No.
Okay.
I just
Are
feel
they
like
more like 98 degrees? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Backstreet Boys?
they really only had a one or two good songs, you know.
New Kids on the Block. That was a good one.
They're not the Hanson brothers either, right? Was that a band, a boy band? And not the hockey players either. Right? The Hansons.
Jake, sure. I don't think they fall.
No, Ryder's giving me the thumbs up.
I don't think they fall into the boy band category.
No. But they I'm still seeing passes into the skates. Pass in the skates. There's an opportunity I think Kyrou had in the first period where there was a pass to him and in the skates. Nothing really can do about that. Like, there's just certain things that they're not crisp and not clean enough to ultimately win these games on a consistent level. And I think that's the difference right now. And Jim Montgomery always talks about the details. Well, the details, and they come in like making good passes, being connected. And I just don't know if I'm seeing that yet out of the Blues. Sometimes they'll skate into the zone and one guy doesn't know what the other guy's doing with the puck, and so they get crisscrossed up at the blue line, and all of a sudden they lose the puck. Like, it's just like little things like that where it's frustrating to watch as a fan, but I do think that they'll, in time, correct that.
Yeah.
But right now, it's frustrating. I see, which I find interesting, that clip, he talks about, players being a little too close. Jamie talks about, like, working together as a 5-man unit, whereas in this clip, at least what I gathered, was that they were not spread out enough. I don't know if you gathered that from what Montgomery said. I'm not going to question what he's saying.
That's what
defensively?
No, offensively.
Offensively?
Yeah, he was saying that they're not spread out enough, which means it's like football. If you got two guys in the same area that you're trying to pass to, one defender can cover both of them.
Sure.
So that's essentially what he's saying.
Yeah.
They're not spread out enough, and there's too many people. It's too cluttered.
Too cluttered, and especially with a team that's tight checking. Like, there's no space to really do anything and be creative. And he talks about he wants the players to be creative. Sometimes, when you're too close, you can't be creative. But you also, like, in my opinion, you don't want to be too spread out, because then you're forcing passes that might get picked off. You're flying the zone. All of a sudden, the puck bounces on your stick, and now guys aren't back. Like, it's an interesting thing that you just got to work on.
Yep.
And right now, the Blues are working on that, and hopefully they come out better for it.
I think they're a good team. Once they find consistency, then we can talk about them being.
And that's what differentiates good teams from great teams, right? Is consistency.
The 618 says they just need to change from boys to men.
Oh, I like that.
That's a great
Splashback
one.
Deuce, excellent text. Splashback Deuce from the Snake Pit says, is Chris Cross a boy band? They are no longer a boy band. One of them died.
Oh, Anthony.
One of the Chris's died.
Chris
Anthony.
Cross.
A long time ago. Chris Cross.
Never heard of him.
First concert for me.
Mine too.
Chris Cross.
Did he really? We might have been there together.
What?
Was it here?
No.
Oh, okay.
Chris Cross. Give me a song.
Jump.
Everybody,
The Mac Daddy make you jump. The Daddy Mac will make you jump.
Really?
Jump. Chris Cross will make you jump.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know that.
I don't know.
I missed the bus.
I missed the bus. Oh. And that is something I will never, ever, ever do again.
Nothing?
I was up. He was up, but I laid back down.
Got
My
nothing.
first concert.
Thinking I could chill till the time came around. Yeah.
We're just in a different era. Like, my first concert was Blink-182.
Okay. All right.
So,
That's
So
that's
funny
kind of what
that
I
was
grew up
yours, too.
I grew up on the punk rock.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
yeah, that makes sense. Did you wear your clothes backwards?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
yeah.
You had to.
Dude, what?
You're going to a Chris Cross concert.
Yes.
I know that song. I just didn't know who, That's the thing. There's a lot of songs out
Mac
there.
Daddy, maybe.
I know, like the lyrics and
Same.
the songs. I just have zero clue who sings them.
Okay.
Same here.
Warm it up, Chris.
I'm about to.
Warm it up.
I mean, you're doing
That's what I was
absolutely. I'm
born to
getting
do.
nothing from this.
Oh, wow. How old
Nothing.
are we?
That
How
hurts.
old are you and I?
When did these guys
I got
like?
42.
When were these guys in their prime?
1992.
Yeah.
Okay.
92, 93.
Yeah.
I was in 5th grade.
Yeah. I was not even a thought.
Oh, man.
Warm it up, Chris. I'm about to. Warm it up, Chris. I was born to do. All right. So, Marsh, you're going to listen to some crisscross in the break
sure.
here.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, we got our Sports Six Pack. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you have a question, send it in. Sports Six Pack next in the Fast Lane.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. What do you got for us, Marsh?
Well, before we get to question number one, a text from the 636. My first concert was Willie Nelson. Oh. My grandma took me, and I couldn't figure out what the weird smell was. Grandma was awesome.
No kidding. That's a cool memory. Yeah, you probably run it. Why is there so much skunk around here?
I was high when I said that.
Ricky, I was high when I said that.
Question number one.
All right, from Grant Francis Fan Club, what do you think Nolan Arenado, what do you think his career legacy will be from the national viewpoint?
He'd go down as one of the best third basemen to play the game.
Yeah, I think so too.
Defensively, 10-time Gold Glove winner. Like, he is. I think this is the hard part of great players' careers, when they start to get on the back half, the back nine of their career, where they're maybe not as good, and you don't see them playing at the same level that you've seen them play their entire. Like, Nolan Arenado had a year last year where he wasn't even a Gold Glove finalist. He went, whoa, what's going on? Mm. Because he's had such a great career. But I think when all the dust settles, you'll look at him and say, yeah, he was one of the best third basemen to play the game.
Yeah.
So
he may fall into that other category, unfortunately, of, one of the best to never win one.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to win, Anthony.
It's very hard to win, yeah.
Yeah. We're learning that right now. It's the Riz Show.
Yeah.
It's hard to win. It's hard to close people out, man.
It is. You're right.
Hard. I told you.
It is hard to win an NFL game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whether you're playing in it, picking it.
Yep.
It's hard.
But it hasn't been very difficult for them. And that's the problem. So we got to step up our game. You know what? Let's go.
I said yesterday, or maybe it was Monday, that we need to take a look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to wonder, though, maybe if we accuse them of cheating, like they accuse us of cheating all the time, maybe we'll flip the script and we'll start winning.
I did accuse them of that. I accused them yesterday.
Okay, was it yesterday? Okay.
I mean, they got to be cheating. No, Anthony, you don't win.
No, even if they're not cheating, we just say they're cheating.
Wait,
just to throw it in the ether.
Are.
Hey, well, I got it.
Okay.
I got it, guys.
All right.
I got it. Here, listen, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do my thing here.
Hey, go ahead.
Here's the deal with the Rizzuto show right now. That's one of the greatest football picking teams I have ever seen.
Yeah.
We're lucky, honestly, that we got off to that big start. Mm-hmm. The fact that you have those collective minds doing what they're doing right now.
King Scott's on a roll.
King Scott is the hottest football picking dude I have ever seen. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just talking about his looks, okay? I'm talking about his picking ability. Mm-hmm. You've got Rafe in there. Mm-hmm. You got Moon. Just ask him. One of the greatest at everything.
Superstar.
Riz, locked in as I've ever seen him.
Glue guy.
And learn, she's rolling the dice constantly. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say this to you guys because it hurts my soul.
Say it.
They're not going to lose.
Damn it.
There's no way they're going to lose another week.
No.
0.0 chance of that happening. They're built too strong.
They're second half team.
They're a second half team. They were toying with us this entire time.
Yeah.
0.0 chance they lose another week. They're just that good.
Wow. They built a winner over there.
Truth hurts. So I think that we should. I just think that we should just continue playing because we have pride over here
for sure.
But there's no way we're beating them.
No.
So let's just do kind of our thing, and we'll try our best, and we'll go the effort route. But that's a juggernaut that will not lose.
It was a fun ride.
It was a fun ride while it lasted.
That sounds great.
Question number two.
From the 314, what's your favorite Christmas light activity? Here's an example. Tillis Park, Jellystone, Garden Glow, etc.
I'm sorry. I was reading Brandon say I think Jamie would smack Stalter if he was in the office. I don't think he would.
I think he'd agree.
I think he'd understand.
I think he'd understand.
What that is, huh?
Yeah.
What was that?
Phone.
You're listening to Crisscross?
Yeah, jump.
Sorry, Marshall. What was the question?
Your favorite Christmas light activity?
We like taking the kids to Grant's Farm to do their Christmas lights. We also like the Garden Glow at the Missouri Botanical Gardens. They always do a great job. Both locations awesome.
I'm bad with names and places and things like that. There's one in O'Fallon that I've taken the kids to.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it. Text me. O'Fallon, Missouri. I don't know the names of big places.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really bad with names.
What?
Yeah. Sometimes, you are too. You call me Jamie every other day.
Mm-hmm. That's just, I get into a rhythm sometimes. Not because I forget you.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I do. I don't know the name of the place, but I've taken the kids there. It's a park. I don't know.
The O'Fallon Park.
Yep.
There
That's
it is.
it.
We figured it out, CD.
Zumwalt Park. Thank you. 314. That's it.
Nice.
Zumwalt. Yeah.
Do they
have lights?
Put lights and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Splashback Dew says the WWT Raceway had some good drive through the lights and tuned station, synchronized music. I've never done that, but we have considered doing that.
Yeah, my buddy actually just went there a couple days ago.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
I like the zoo. The free zoo.
Okay.
I actually haven't gone Christmas light watching, spectating in quite some time. It's been a minute.
Time? Been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Well, maybe you should get out there.
Maybe I should.
Bring the little lady, all right?
Yeah.
Because here's the
enjoy
thing.
it.
You've been spending a lot of time trying to pick games. I already told you we're not going to win again.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. So take the little lady out to see some of these lights. Okay?
I tried to go to, we tried to go to a Christmas pop-up shop. They have those bars and they kind of convert them to like Christmas stuff. And man, I went to this one place and they say no reservations. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, there's some places that you need reservations, but this one in particular didn't have a reservation. We walk up and like, oh man, there's a lot of people here. Maybe we'll find a spot. We walk in and the host, doing her job. Hey, we got about a 3-hour wait. Would you like me to put your name on? I go, nope,
That's all right.
No, thank you.
see ya.
Yep. I think we're good on that.
Went to the next place. Didn't have a reservation.
That was you.
Didn't need a reservation.
There you go.
Walked in. No, there's no spots. All right, we'll move on to the next place. Same thing. I guess everybody had the same idea.
Yeah.
You tried.
Yeah.
We tried.
That's all that matters.
But we made the most of it.
Why don't we haven't done this in a while, but we're going to carry over the sports six-pack, guys.
What?
All right, so let's carry over the sports six-pack. We got to finish these questions off. All right, that's next in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues lose to the New Jersey Devils last night on home ice by a final score of 4-1. They'll look to get back in the win column as they head to Florida to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We have our Sports Six-Pack Part 2 coming up next. So if you have questions you want to send to us, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll do part 2 of our Sports Six-Pack next, right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
We continue our Sports Six back here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Marsh, go.
Real quick here. I said Christmas lights at the zoo, the free zoo. And the 618 reminded me that the zoo is not free when you want to go watch or look at the Christmas lights.
You got to pay?
You got to pay for them. I forgot about that. That's just
because it's like a special event.
Yeah, I guess so. It's
kinda
just
like
super unfortunate.
Kind of like Boo at the zoo.
Yeah.
What? You got to pay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
That's why
you haven't been back.
Well, and yes. And when you really think about it, now that I think about it, you know, when we're trying to get these free agents to come here and play in St. Louis, we're always talking about the free zoo.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to the Cardinals, when is free agency the offseason? It's during winter, right?
Right.
So if they came here during winter time and the lights are up, it ain't free.
It's not free.
This is why the Cardinals continue to not bring in guys like Shohei Ohtani. You're absolutely right. That's a shame. This is on us, guys.
No, I don't think
we're
it's on us.
promoting a free zoo.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
For guys like Shohei, for guys like Bryce Harper, and they're coming here, and they're going to that. Hold on, Carey. They're coming to the zoo. They're seeing the light, and they're like, "Oh, this is going to be great." Mm-hmm. Excuse me, sir. That'll be $22.94. And they're like, "Whoa,
I can't afford that.
I'm not coming here."
Dude, question.
What?
Shohei made like $700 million. I think he can afford.
It's deferred.
He doesn't have it yet.
It's deferred. He will have it.
Bryce got like 390. Is that right? I think 2250. How much was the light show? Do you recall?
I mean, I have no idea. I forgot that it even costed money.
Yeah. See, $22. I don't think that's the deterrent.
Brandon says less than $20 for non-members during the nighttime.
I mean, he's not a member. He's not even from here. We're trying to entice him to come here.
Cardinal Nation, you have our apology. We're sorry. We are. It's not cool what we've done. This is on us.
Okay.
Question number 3.
Well, speaking of the Cardinals, the 636 wants to know, do you think the Cardinal way was more about Albert Pujols as opposed to a sound process of developing a consistent winning baseball team?
I think the Cardinal way was about Tony La Russa. I think it was about playing a hard nine, playing the game a specific way, and that filtered through the entire organization. That's what I think the Cardinal way was about.
I'll disagree.
Okay. Well, what else is new?
The Cardinal way was about the damn Hall of Fame players. Just like the Patriot way. Bill Belichick was still there. Was it still the Patriot way? Or was it try to find a way to win a game?
He went to the playoffs. Everybody forgets.
What happened?
They got steamrolled.
All right.
But they still went to the playoffs. It's like everybody's like, it was a disaster. They went to the playoffs the following year, 2 years later.
The Buccaneer way.
It became the Tom way.
There you go. The Tom Brady way. Mm-hmm. The Albert Pujols way. The way is You think the White Sox got away? Hell no.
They got away early in the season.
The winds got away from them, yeah. You don't got away when you don't got a guy. You got to have a guy.
Yeah.
Preferably 2, 3, 4 of them that can play some ball.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got a certain way about how you handle your business. Doesn't matter about the head coach or the manager.
Yeah.
It matters, but is it really?
So Adam Parker from the Snake Pit says the Cardinal way was George Kissel. And that, of course, is the book that we have not been able to get our hands on that Mike Schilt took to San Diego. And apparently we didn't make copies of. Yep.
You're telling me I can't go get that at Barnes & Noble?
No, I don't think so.
Nope. Not
unless Mike Schilt is there.
Yeah. Handing out free copies.
Handing out his only copies.
He's not going to do it, though.
You're going to hand it back to him right after you look at the first page.
Chester from the Snake Pit says the Cardinal Way was about a great organization, hard playing teams, and awesome atmosphere.
Led by whom?
Well, George Kissel. And then eventually Tony La Russa.
Albert Pujols.
The 636 says the Cardinal way is to let Yachty fix our horrible pitching decisions. There's a lot of truth in that.
Another Hall of Fame player.
And before that, it was Dave Duncan.
There you go.
Doing the same thing. All right, I think we've established that. Nice job, guys. None of this makes me feel better, but
Anthony,
I think we got to the root of the issue. We cool?
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm cool.
Right.
I'm way cool.
IR.
What is he?
Yeah, he got placed on IR.
Really?
Yeah. Which I wonder, after he also missed another field goal, they're like, are you hurt?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be if you say no. Your leg okay?
Anthony, your team's falling apart.
Is it?
He's excited. I don't think you're going to be able to.
Two biggest issues.
I don't think you're going to be able to get him off of this for a while. Unless, and even if Michael Penix does not perform well, he'll still be okay.
He better perform well.
He'll be okay.
Pick them up in fantasy football.
Two biggest issues just got solved. You had your kicker missing kicks, and you had your quarterback playing like crapola. One went to the bench, one went to IR. Bingo, bango, bongo. We'll probably miss the playoffs. Too little, too late. But I'm
Question
excited.
number 4.
Man, I'm excited.
From the 618, if you had one sports wish, what would it be? Is it attending an iconic sporting event in history, meeting an iconic player, owning the Gray's Sports Almanac so you can place bets on sporting events you already know the outcomes to?
That didn't wind up well for anybody.
Is it having your quarterback potentially being benched? You know, what would that wish be, gentlemen?
Guys, I burned mine. It happened last
you only
night.
get one.
So, yeah.
I don't know. That's a very good question. One sports wish? Just one?
Yeah.
You know what I think? I would have, this is random, and maybe it's because I would have loved to be, I would have loved to see the Immaculate Reception in person. Like, I think that would be, and maybe it wasn't as cool. Maybe they didn't know how cool it would be.
Yeah.
Then, like the importance or the magnitude that it had. So maybe that's not it. But I don't know. I think that was that's a historical moment in sports, especially in Steelers history. Something like that.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen some pretty cool things. You know what? I wish Mike Vick wasn't cold in Philadelphia.
I wish you guys hosted that year.
That's what I wish.
If you hosted, that was, you guys were Super Bowl bound.
Yeah. We didn't lose the NFC Championship game. That team was
really good.
They were really good, man.
DVD.
Man, it was. Well,
if you're not in Philadelphia, you're winning that.
Probably. Yeah.
Donovan McNabb would have been thrown up in Georgia instead of wherever they played the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Don Denkinger makes the right call. It's my sports wish, Willie. It's a good one. AB, I wish Stan Kroenke never existed. Another good one. Yeah. I mean, you can go no wrong here. My sports wish nearly happened last year, but the Battlehawks came one game short.
About that,
I was going to be calling plays.
Anthony Becht actually said no. to that? He
That's
told
not
us.
what I remember.
Well, you weren't listening, brother.
Hold on here.
Was that because that band was playing while we were at
Probably,
Ballpark
Yeah,
Village?
Moon's band was playing. I just got to warm up. What are you guys on radio? Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, no, I remember Anthony Beck, your former teammate, turning to me and saying, yeah, man, we get to the championship game, you're going to be there. To which I interpreted as, I actually said, you guys are going to be on the sidelines, to which I interpreted as, I'll be calling plays. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know what the problem is.
I'm pretty sure he said you would not be able to call a play, like none.
No, he said you'll call
But he
a
said
play.
you all can be on the sideline. He said you can be on the sideline, no problem. Yeah, you're not going to call a play. And so, I think the dream...
What are you doing right now?
It is deferred, but it's probably...
Trying to crap on this guy's great day.
This is unbelievable. All day.
I'm trying to have clear transparency.
Carey's
here.
like, let me pull up the film. Look, Kirk was actually pretty good. Like, what are you doing?
I showed you.
What are you doing?
That he
You
wasn't
showed me
bad.
on play.
I showed you a full.
You showed me
quarter.
on play that wasn't his fault.
I showed you a
Great.
full quarter of play.
Awesome.
Now, there are 3 more that I got to go through and
One
dissect.
touchdown, 9 picks. And Carey's over here like, that's not a big deal. I know what you're trying to do.
Nah. What am I doing?
You don't want to see Penix play.
No, I do want to see him play. He's going to be pretty good.
Anyways, yeah, so that's my sports dream. Calling plays for the Battlehawks in the championship game, just like Anthony Beck promised me.
I don't know if I have a sports wish. Maybe I'll save it for later.
The Cardinals rediscovering their devil magic.
How about no devil magic? How about just be good?
Yeah.
How about no magic required? How about no rally squirrel? I was going to say monkey.
That was the
Different
Angels.
team,
Yeah, rally squirrel.
Yeah.
How about no need? How about just be good?
Where's the fun in that?
Ask LA.
You don't have 2006
Ask
without
my Dodgers.
a little devil magic. You don't have you definitely don't have 2011 without some devil magic.
I like my teams to win in blowouts, Anthony. I don't like to have to wait around for the results. You know, like you're up 28-3, you can cut the TV off like you did.
That is true. I did like doing that.
See?
I shouldn't complain. We do have that Super Bowl.
Marshy, tell him.
I don't want to ruin his day.
Question number 5.
We're still going. I was going to tease that segment.
I got one more. From the 314, what do you think it would cost now to have that Cardinals 2004 lineup?
Oh, sweet Mary and Joseph. What the Dodgers are paying their lineup.
Yeah.
That was one of the best lineups. That was one, I've said this before, that was one of the greatest teams I have laid eyes on. Certainly the best Cardinals team I've laid eyes on.
That's my sport wish. I wish they would have won that World Series.
There you go. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
To watch that Red Sox team that was all full of pluck just get drilled, and there's no Red Sox Nation after that. That would have been fun.
Actually, I take it back. I wish the Rams would have beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I wish Adam Vinatieri would have missed the kick. They win in overtime.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Good one, too.
Because that was the start of the madness.
Mm-hmm. Because then the Rams are essentially in a dynasty. They're one win away from being a dynasty.
Yeah. All right.
So
that's a good one. Okay. Does the college football playoff need to be exciting to justify the expansion? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Does the college football playoff need to be exciting to justify the expansion? I only wonder this because I think some people, and I don't want to hang out with these people, Carey.
I was going to say, you don't like those people.
I don't want to hang out with the people that don't want it, that didn't want the college football expansion. But I do think there are some people that seemingly have the idea of like, oh, well, you just crown the best, the best team, and you could have had it. You had that with 4 teams, or you had that with 2 teams, which to me it's like, well, what? Do you not like fun?
Yeah.
Do you not like entertainment? Because I can't wait for Friday night. So I don't think like you're going to get some bad games, but I still think that you're going to get some upsets. I think you're going to get some drama. And I do think you're going to get some intrigue over the next couple of weeks. But I can't wait for Friday night when the college football playoff kicks off between Indiana and Notre Dame.
I think it's going to be extremely exciting. I am in the same mindset as you. I think, the fact that we have, 12 teams right now. I was going to say 16. I know hopefully it goes to 16. But 12 teams right now that you might have an idea as to who you think is going to win. Like we watched Oregon go toe-to-toe with Penn State a couple of weeks ago. Penn State scored way more points than I thought that they would be able to. And Oregon, they were able to meet them. I watched Arizona State put up, it felt like 50, 60 points in their championship game. Like they were playing extremely well. I'm excited to see what Ashton Genty does now that he didn't win the Heisman. Does he have a chip on his shoulder? I want to see SMU. I'm excited about all of it because I don't know who's going to win. Mm-hmm. And I'm also excited to see a team like Indiana, who has 1 loss on the year. They went to Ohio State and played really well for the first half and then got thumped, and it wasn't good. But I want to see them have an opportunity to bounce back. Because I played in a game. We played LSU in the Sugar Bowl, and we got thumped.
How'd it go?
Well, Anthony, if we had another quarter, probably would have won. But you don't play 5 quarters. You only play 4. And they got out to a early lead. Score wasn't as bad as it looked. Like we were able to figure some things out. Wish we had another chance to play those guys.
Was that Jamarcus Russell?
No, that was
Rohan Davey. Gotcha.
Oh, my goodness.
Jamarcus Russell, that was like 2007.
Well, this was in 2001.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Rohan Davey. Yeah, he was pretty good. But either way, like have a chance to play against a team, and you got a chance to do something here. I'm excited for these guys to. I'm excited to just see how it goes because I think it's going to be a great TV. I think it's going to be great fun.
I think it's going to be entertaining. I do think, though, that if the top 4 teams in terms of ranking, not seeding, right, ranking-wise, if they all get to the Final 4 of all of this, I think you're going to have a lot of people that you don't want to hang out with, Anthony. I think those people are going to be criticizing this 12-team playoff and saying, well, what's the point of all this if we ended up having the 4 best teams in the nation heading into it at the same exact spot at the end of it?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's kind of what I was thinking with this.
There needs to be an upset of some kind, and I think a team outside of the top 4 ranked teams needs to make it to the semifinal.
I will say this, though. When you think about it, this season, was it clear who the top 4 teams were?
Oregon. You thought Ohio State, then they lost to a team that hadn't won.
Right. Texas lost to Georgia twice.
Texas, to me, is the most vulnerable team this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Honestly. Yeah.
Against Clemson?
I think Clemson beats them.
I think Ohio State and all their weaknesses and all their softness and all the Ryan Day-ness, I think that Tennessee goes into Columbus and beats
Ohio
them.
State is tougher than Tennessee. They're just not tougher than Michigan.
Say what?
Okay. Ohio State has athletes upon athletes upon athletes.
That doesn't mean that they're tough.
That means that I didn't say they were tough. I said they're tougher than Tennessee.
I don't think
they're not tougher than they are. Athlete for athlete, they will match up very well with Tennessee.
But it's the SEC, Carey.
They will. Tennessee will not out athlete them. I can guarantee you that. Ohio State got some guys. They didn't have the mental makeup to punch Michigan in their mouth.
Well, Michigan, one of the worst program This is one of the worst Michigan programs.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. But
they couldn't find the mental fortitude to beat them?
They didn't have the mental toughness, but they ain't got to play Michigan in this playoffs.
No, they have to play a better team.
They got to play Oregon. Okay.
You don't think Tennessee's better than Michigan?
I definitely
by a wide margin?
I definitely think Tennessee is much better than Michigan.
Okay.
I don't think Tennessee is tougher than Michigan.
I think mentally, Tennessee is way stronger and way more physical and way tougher than Ohio State.
All right.
Who couldn't move the ball at all.
Okay. I got Ohio State. I got Clemson.
You think Clemson upsets Texas?
I think it's going to be a good game.
No way.
I do. Yep.
No way.
All right.
101 ESPN breaking news alert.
I guess it's breaking news. This is from Mark Feinsand on X. News. Nolan Arenado blocks potential trade to Astros. Sources tell me.
Wow.
He's going to be in a Redbird uniform.
Okay. Well, we've got the Gauntlet coming up next. And after the Gauntlet, we will get into how Nolan Arenado will remain a Cardinal. Probably forever. Gauntlet next, though. Here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I always like checking in with my guy Stewie, and when the Federal Reserve is involved, I really want to know what Stewie thinks, because when it comes to our money and protecting it or making sure that we make the right financial moves, Stewie's got us covered. So, Stewie, what's the latest with the Federal Reserve?
The Federal Reserve went ahead and cut interest rates. Now, that's the Fed funds rate, and we're getting a lot of calls from people saying, hey, I heard the Federal Reserve cut the rates, so the mortgage numbers are down. That is not correct. Mortgage rates actually popped up about 0.25% to 3/8. This is going to be a continuous trend right now where rates are actually going to go upward. What does that mean for you? That means if you're going to do a cash-out refinance, if you have rates in the high 7s or mid-7s, you ought to refinance right now, because tomorrow nobody knows anything. Things can pop back up. Things can pop back down. If you get the bagel loan, no closing costs, they come back down, you refinance for free. So if you're in a situation, you have those credit card debts, you want to take the cash out, don't procrastinate. Get it done now. Make your New Year's resolution today. Improve your position. If rates get better later, we can always do it for free the second time around.
But you do have to pick up the phone and either call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone number, 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440. Call him, text him, day, night, doesn't matter. Tell him that you heard him on 101 ESPN. Ask him about the unique situation that you may have, or just flat out tell him, look, this is what I want to do. Stewie's going to help you. And if you missed out on that number, you can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane. I'm Carey Davis, joined by Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter, and it is time for the Gauntlet, and we have a returning Gauntlet contestant. Tony, how you doing?
Doing well.
Doing well. So last time you picked a category, so you got to pick a category again, okay?
Right.
And you pick the category you want, and then we'll spin the wheel and see who you go against. He beat Anthony last time, correct?
He beat you last time.
Oh, he beat me.
In baseball. So it's going to be either Anthony or myself today, in whichever category Tony picks.
All right, Tony, what category would you like?
We're going to go with football this time.
Yeah, you're going with football, are you? All right.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to tell Marshy to...
CD out of the way.
You got me out of the way. Tell Marshy to spin that wheel. We'll see who you're going against.
All right, spin that wheel, Marshy.
So this is the second round, right?
Yes, sir. You got to be kidding me.
3 straight days.
3 days in a row.
3 days in a row. Andrew Marsh.
Damn it.
Wow. Okay. So you got Andrew Marsh in football.
Okay.
In foosball.
Good luck, Tony.
All right. You too.
All right, so Marsh is going to make his way into the cone of silence. Carey is going to give me the launch codes. Thank you, Carey.
You're welcome.
By the way, if you're just joining us and you're wondering, hey, what's going on with Arenado? Just heard some stuff. Yeah, Nolan Arenado invoked his no-trade clause on Tuesday, squashing a potential deal to the Astros, according to Mark Feinsand. So we'll get into that after Tony and Marsh collide in round 2 of the Gauntlet. All right. Are you ready, Tony?
I am. Yes, I'm ready.
As you remember, each question's worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, they're worth 1 point. Here we go. Name the first team Alabama lost to this past season. Name the first team Alabama lost to this past season.
Shoot. I know they lost to Vanderbilt. I don't know if that was their first one. They lose to Georgia first. I'm going to say Georgia was their first one.
Final answer?
Yep.
Question number 2. The Giants have only 2 wins this season. They beat the Browns and which other team?
I'm going to need the options.
Is it the Carolina Panthers, the Los Angeles Rams, or the Seattle Seahawks?
Rams, Seahawks, and who's the other team?
Panthers. Yep.
Shoot, I know they haven't won in a long time. Let's go with the Rams. Final answer.
All right, Tony, which team is the youngest NFL team established in 2002? So we're not looking for age as much as we're looking for when they came into the league. Which team is the youngest NFL team established in 2002?
That's the Texans. Final answer.
Question number 4. Through 15 weeks in the NFL, who leads the league with 16 interceptions?
Like which team?
Which player?
Which player? 16 interceptions this year?
Yep.
Wow. All right, give me the options.
Is it Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, or Geno Smith?
Quarterback. We'll say, he's thrown 9 in the last 5 games. So we'll say Kirk Cousins.
All right, let's bring back Andrew Marsh from the Cone of Silence. If you can see us, it looks like he's got his head down. There we go. All right. Tony, how you feeling?
Not too good. I know one of those is right. The other one's kind of guess.
Okay. All right, let's see what Marsh does here. He's back from the cone of silence. He's putting his headphones on.
Let's go, Marshy.
Well, thank you. Yeah, third time's a charm, maybe.
Sorry, I have a pen in my hand.
You were slow.
No, I had the pen in my hand. You can't.
Okay. I did kind of spring it on you.
You did.
All right.
What's going on?
Carey Davis. I got Let's Go, Marshy.
All right, just didn't hit the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of thrown off now. Probably lose.
That would be his third straight day in the penalty box. Marsh, you already know your category is football. Are you ready?
Yes.
Question 1. Name the first team Alabama lost to this past season.
First team Alabama lost to this past season. All right, let's see here. Well, okay, so they lost 3. Was it Vanderbilt? I know it wasn't Oklahoma. I'm trying to... Who was the third team they lost to? Oh, jeez. Well, they would have been number 1 when they lost to Vanderbilt, which I'm assuming means that they didn't lose before that. Otherwise, I don't know if they would have propelled to be number 1 at that time. So I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. Final answer.
The Giants have only won 2 games this season. They beat the Browns and which other team?
Oh, jeez. Man, who did they beat? Let's go back here. They definitely didn't beat the Vikings. I know that. I feel like it was another NFC East team. Let's use the options.
Is it the Carolina Panthers, the Los Angeles Rams, or the Seattle Seahawks?
It was the Seattle Seahawks. They went into Seattle and beat them. Final answer.
Question 3. Which team is the youngest NFL team established in 2002?
Wait, what?
Which team is the youngest NFL team established in 2002? So not the age of the roster,
Okay.
but like when they came into the league.
2002? I mean, probably the Houston Texans. I don't know what other team it would have been. It wasn't the Ravens. They came back. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. Final answer.
Question number 4. Through 15 weeks in the NFL, who leads the league with 16 interceptions?
Like the team or the player?
A player.
16 interceptions, eh? You would think it'd be Kirk Cousins. But is it? Or is it Patrick Mahomes? Or is it Baker Mayfield? That's probably the options you're going to give me. 16 interceptions, eh? I think based on who would write these questions, because they're always trying to give it to us, and based on what we know about Anthony, I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins. Final answer.
All right. Here we go. Which team is the youngest NFL team established in 2002? Tony, you said the Texans. Marsh, you said the Texans. Correct answer is?
It's the Houston Texans.
Nice job, guys. Neither of you needed the options on that. So we get a 2-2 tie. The Giants have only won 2 games this season. They beat the Browns. And which other team? You guys both used the options. You both wound up in the NFC West. Marsh, you said the Seahawks. Tony, you said the Rams. Correct answer is...
the Seattle Seahawks.
The Seattle Seahawks. Marsh with a 1-point lead now over Tony. Through 15 weeks in the NFL, who leads the league with 16 interceptions? Marsh, you said Kirk Cousins. Tony, you also said Kirk O'Chains. Correct answer is...
it is Kirk Cousins.
Of course it is. But Marsh didn't need the options on that one. Marsh has a 2-point lead. Comes down to this. Name the first team Alabama lost to this past season. Without the options, Marsh went with Vanderbilt. Without the options, Tony went with Georgia. If it's Vanderbilt or any team not named Georgia, Marsh going to win. And unfortunately, Tony gets eliminated in round 2. If it's Georgia, then we've got a walk-off. Carey, name the first team Alabama lost to this past season.
Vanderbilt.
Tony.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Marsh was on one today, Tony. 7-3, man. I apologize.
Yeah,
this is your this is the end of your journey.
Yep. That's all right. It was fun, man.
Hey,
Thank you guys.
He had a hell of a run, man. No doubt about it. Nice job.
Good job, Tony.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right. Marsh, congratulations on not having to go to the penalty box for a third consecutive day.
That might have been a record.
That was a record.
You got 7 2 days in a row, too. You should be proud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice job.
It is. Pretty
Way to
good.
go.
Who was the other team that they lost to? Vanderbilt,
They
Oklahoma?
lost to Vanderbilt and Tennessee.
Tennessee.
That's right.
Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, who Carey doesn't like because they're not tough enough, apparently.
Right.
No, just not tough as Ohio State.
And Carey wouldn't bench Kirk Cousins despite his 16 interceptions.
I'm going to keep watching this film.
Yeah, tell me what you
I'll let
see.
you know. I see Kyle Pitts jogging on his route.
Well, you're going to see that every snap.
Well, that's ridiculous. Absolutely.
He's a unicorn. You're an idiot.
Do unicorns run or do they prance?
Either way, I'd rather have a unicorn than Kyle Pitts. It just spear the football. You know?
Just spike it.
That unicorn is going to run better routes than Kyle Pitts. There's no question about
He
it.
got 4 legs, so probably.
Yeah.
We have seen a 4-legged animal be very good at sports.
Very true.
They made a whole documentary thing about it. His name was Air Bud.
Yeah.
He played
dude.
multiple sports.
Yeah, you're right. He did. Yeah,
Thought you were
that
saying
dog was
secretariat.
incredible. Nope. All right. According to Mark Feinsand, Nolan Arenado invoked his no-trade clause today, or on Tuesday, excuse me, so yesterday, and squashed a potential deal with the Astros. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Nolan Arenado is going to be here. We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN. It's always a good time to go down to the Missouri Athletic Club at this time of year, whether they've got a Santa workshop going on for the kids, breakfast with Santa, or just, meeting Santa, having the breakfast there. It's always a great time. But when it comes to just going there, daily, get my workout in, see good buddies, maybe have some lunch or some breakfast with some guys that, just to kind of catch up. The Missouri Athletic Club is always a great spot. Kind of have several clubs within the club, and whether it's just for me or the family, I really enjoy being a club member of my MAC, the Missouri Athletic Club.
We don't know the exact teams, AJ. We don't know exactly where he wants to go. I'm sure it's a select, relatively small group. The Dodgers, from what we understand, that would be a dream for him, but it's not available to him. They've got Max Muncy, and they consider themselves fine in that regard. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, because this is not the Nolan Arenado of 3 or 4 years ago. It's a different player. It's a player who appears to be in decline and who might not be in as much demand, especially when Alex Bregman is still available, as you might think. So again, I can't predict how he is going to kind of direct this, but keep in mind, he does have the ability to direct it. When a player has a full no trade protection like Arenado does, he effectively can choose his next team. So if the Cardinals say, hey, Nolan, we want to send you to Team X, and he's like, I don't want to go there, they have to keep going. They have to go to Team Y. And if he doesn't like Team Y, you got to go to Team Z.
So that was Ken Rosenthal. He appeared on Foul Territory, the podcast, and it sets up perfectly for what we just read coming out of Mark Feinsand, who originally had the report, but John Denton has also, reported that Arenado has blocked a potential trade. He did so on Tuesday to the Houston Astros. The Astros wanted Nolan Arenado. And according to sources, the Astros and Cardinals were in discussions on a potential trade involving the third baseman, but Arenado informed St. Louis that he will not waive his no-trade clause to go to Houston. As part of the deal, the Cardinals were willing to send $15 to $20 million to the Astros as part of the deal to help pay down Arenado's salary. The eight-time All-Star is set to earn $74 million over the next 3 years, though the Rockies are on the hook for $10 million as part of that 2020-21 trade with the Cardinals, while $12 million of the deal is deferred, bringing the present-day value of what is owed to roughly $60 million. The money the Cardinals were willing to include would have brought the Astros commitment down to roughly $40 to $45 million over 3 years. The source said there are still ongoing talks between the clubs, though the source indicated the Astros aren't holding out much hope that the deal will get done. It's not known why Arenado doesn't want to go to the Astros, though given his desire to join a team that can win now, Houston's trade of Kyle Tucker to the Cubs couldn't help the effort. Either way, here's my read on it. There is no market now. There's no market for Arenado unless the Yankees or the Red Sox jump in, and who knows if he wants to go to either of those teams. There is no market. The Dodgers aren't interested. So if he had all hopes that he was just going to go to L.A., that's dashed. So he's going to be a Cardinal.
He can still go to L.A. So be the
Angels. Apparently the Angels were on his teams that he's willing to go to.
So maybe that's it.
That spits in the face of him wanting to go to a contender.
Maybe he just wants to go home.
Maybe
that's it. I don't know. I think this is interesting news because I think everyone was had the expectation that he was going to be traded. We heard for the last couple of weeks that Houston seemed to be the landing spot for him, and then he nixes it like, no, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Where do you go from here for the Cardinals? You have no choice, right? Your hands are tied because he earned the right. Then make sure that you earned the right to have a no trade clause in your contract.
Yeah,
that means you are one of the few people that can dictate, how your career is going to go, especially the latter part of it. You've earned that right. And so we saw this last year with was it Justin Falk? With the Blues? Which one? Who was it that?
No, it wasn't Justin Falk. It was
Torrey Krug. Sorry.
Yeah.
We just got Torrey Krug.
Yeah, we saw
T-Bone
that.
told me when I was waiting for the Gauntlet.
You earned the right to have that in your contract, and if you don't want to go somewhere, you don't go. And so but if you're the Cardinals, you have to figure out what the next move is because you do need to open that spot up. You do need to have Nolan Gorman playing every single day. It changes things now. Now, do you put him at second base? And then where's Brendan Donovan? Is he in left field? Okay, where's Newt?
Right.
Like it just makes things more cluttered in what seemed like it was starting to clear out. And, you got to figure it out.
This year, maybe it's not as big of a deal because he's still playing defense at a pretty good level. The power numbers were down last year. The other numbers were okay. But this is somebody that the decline has been here over the last couple of years. So you have a team interested right now in the Astros. Who's to say what the market's going to look like a year from now? I think it'd probably be worse unless he has a resurgence season. I think the Cardinals are in a bad spot right now.
They are, but they also have the opportunity to tell them, hey, you're going to bat 7th, and you're not going to play every day. Yeah, you cool with that? Like you can. It's a negotiation at this point. Now, both sides probably are in their feelings a little bit. Mm-hmm. So now if you didn't like the fact that he was unwilling to go, well, okay, this is what our plans are for the future and as it pertains to you.
Yeah.
You cool with sitting on the bench for 60 games, 70 games? That's where you'll be our bat off the bench in some of those games. Like, if you really want him to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, there are ways to move the ball forward. Because I'm pretty sure Nolan Arenado strikes me as a very competitive person. Very competitive people that get paid a lot of money don't want to sit down and watch people play.
Sure.
So now is this the next conversation? And again, in business, it's not always chummy. We're not always going to be best of friends. Somebody's going to be upset with how this negotiation goes. And if you're the Cardinals and you desperately need to get him to a different place, because again, you're going to put Lars Nootbaar in center field? What does that do for Victor Scott and Michael Ciani? Like, how does that stunt their growth? That goes against essentially what we've been talking about. Or do you keep Brendan Donovan at second base? Well, now where's Nolan Gorman going to play? Because he can't DH because that's where Alec Burleson is going to be. So you're putting he essentially said, yeah, the hell with y'all. I'm going to be here. You're going to pay me. Deal with it. Now what?
Well, the 314 brings up a great point. With Kyle Tucker and presumably Alex Bregman gone, that's not great motivation to play for them. They got significantly worse, probably worse than the Cardinals. Why would he take that?
Well,
that's what the article said.
Yeah, we mentioned that. Yeah,
yep.
And it's a good point. The Astros have been a team though that has drafted exceptionally well. This has been they're a good organization. They know what they're doing. But I could certainly see it from Arenado's viewpoint. I think Arenado probably wants to go to a team. It's like the Dodgers or nobody. He wants to go to a team that's
won before the season started.
Exactly. They're done. So it's either the Dodgers or like the Phillies. That's it. What other team would you want to go to? That's completely already stocked up, and all you have to do is go in there and let everybody else do the heavy lifting, and you just kind of do your thing.
Well, that's the ironic thing about it is that these teams that are trying to win, maybe they don't want him because they don't see the value of what he's bringing presently compared to what he was 5 years ago.
To your point, the Dodgers not being interested, what does that tell you?
That they feel like they have a better solution at that position. Because if they didn't, they would be after him. And that might be – so sometimes, you learn your value when other people are not knocking at your door. Mm-hmm. Like people are like, or the teams that are knocking, you don't think, that's not who I would date.
Right.
I don't want to date her. That's who wants you.
There's a part of me.
Now what?
There's a part of me that I like.
All of us just thought of one bunny. That's him.
I kind of hope that he stays because the Cardinals we need to get rid of this money and you know what? No.
Yeah.
Play.
Right.
Have him play and let's see if you can turn things around. If you want to trade him at the trade deadline, then trade him at the trade deadline. If he proves that he can be one of those dudes for a contender in this upcoming season, they need a third baseman. I'm sure some team would need a player like that on a stretch run. But for now, you know what? You paid the guy. There's a reason why you brought him in. Pay the guy and keep the money and figure all the other stuff out because that's your job.
Yeah, but I think it makes your job harder. And then
then figure it out.
How? Who can you move now from this roster and clear up a space if it's not Nolan Arenado? You can't move Victor Scott. You can't. You probably wouldn't. You can't move Michael Ciani. You probably can't move Lars Nootbaar because of his injury history. And get something in return. You're not going to move Brendan Donovan. You can't move Nolan Gorman because they haven't done enough to have enough value. So you'll just be you'll be doing what you did with Dylan Carlson. Bring back Stretch Armstrong, and then he'll be out of here in 2 weeks.
I think things will play themselves out. I think certain guys won't stay healthy for the entire duration of the season. Like, it will play itself out, but you need to be creative, and that's why they're paid to do their job. They need to figure it out. It's as simple as that. You are paid to do this job, so figure it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
are you talking about the Cardinals or no?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Cardinals. Figure it out.
But if there's no market.
No, I'm not even talking about trading. I'm talking about if they have to keep him, you have to figure it out in terms of who you need to play and where they need to play and when they need to play. That's the reality of it. Otherwise, you shouldn't have signed the guy.
Joe does bring up a good point, though, in the snake pit. He goes, Astros will still have a better team than the Cardinals in 2025. Altuve, Diaz, Jordan, Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown,
Paredes,
Isak Paredes, Javier, Hader, Abreu. That's still a pretty good team. And then Brandon says, call San Fran. They may want him. They got Matt Chapman. They won't want Arenado. That's what I'm saying. The market's not robust.
It doesn't matter who you call. It matters where he wants to go.
So there is another thought, and I hated it a couple of weeks ago, but I wonder now if the Cardinals do this. I'll tell you what that is next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lose to the New Jersey Devils last night by a final score of 4-1. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. And, of course, you can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN. We just had some big news break not too long ago, and we're talking about it right now. We'll continue talking about it. Send us your mic drops, by the way, if you have any thoughts on this situation I'm about to bring up. Nolan Arenado blocks a potential trade to the Astros. That was from Mark Feinsand, and it's interesting. So let us know your thoughts. Send us mic drops. Text us to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll continue that discussion next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
With the news that Arenado didn't waive his no trade clause to go to Houston, I'm assuming the only contenders he would actually go to at this point are the Yankees, I guess Boston if you want to count them as a contender, and the Dodgers. You're looking at like two teams. He's going to handcuff the Cardinals until he goes where he wants to go, I guess. That's his right. I saw someone on Twitter compared Nolan Arenado to Torrey Krug, and they're kind of right in this situation.
That was our guy Swan who left us a mic drop, and I would love to hear other people's thoughts on this. So, as we had mentioned before, Nolan Arenado has blocked a trade to the Astros. This, according to, among others, Mark Feinsand and John Denton of MLB.com. The Cardinals were willing to send $15 to $20 million to the Astros as part of the deal to help pay down Arenado's salary. The Astros would be on the hook for roughly $40 to $45 million over the next 3 years. And Arenado said no. He said, go fast lane yourself. I'm not going there. Not today. Carey brought this up. Swan just mentioned as well. He's got every right to do so. You're in the contract. You're in the no trade clause. You're in the opportunity to say no when the team comes to the table here with a potential trade. So now it's like, okay, what next? And I had mentioned this going into the break. There's an option out there that could sweeten the deal to generate more of a market, because that's the problem. This is what Swan had brought up.
Oh no!
It's the nuclear option that I don't like.
Oh no!
There's not enough of a market. That's the problem. Astros are now you can cross them off now. The Yankees maybe, or they just stick with Jazz Chisholm and call it a day. The Red Sox, does Arenado consider the Red Sox a contender? I don't know. If he doesn't consider the Astros a contender, I don't know if he's going to consider the Red Sox a contender. Dodgers, no. Phillies, probably not. Alec Boehm there. Giants, no. Matt Chapman's there. Padres, no. So what do you do? I wonder if the Cardinals revisit or visit the idea of packaging Nolan Arenado with Ryan Helsley, which I think would be awful because you would generate more of a deal if you separate the two. You don't want to get rid of Arenado's contract and have it cost you Ryan Helsley. You want a trade package in return. I wouldn't like this at all.
No, because then you're giving the player is essentially dictating how you run your business, how you run your team.
You don't have to get rid of him. But I'm saying if it's that important to move him, I wonder if that would be more enticing, if that would open things up. I would hate it. I stated this 4 weeks ago. I would not do it. But just throwing it out there.
I think we're looking at it the wrong way. He blocked the trade, meaning I am dictating where I'm going. I don't give a damn who you package with me.
No, but I'm trying to. I know, but I'm trying. If you, so the Astros know, who do you want to play for, Nolan?
That's what I'm saying. If I'm Nolan Arenado, I get to dictate where I'm going.
Sure. Where do you want to go?
L.A.
The Dodgers?
Yes.
They told you to get bent, so you're going to be a Cardinal.
Cool.
All right.
When's spring training start? What's the date?
Oh, it's
see you there.
March. Go to hell.
We'll be in hell together.
That's a good month. That's a good month, Anthony.
We'll be there together.
It's the best. Honestly, it's the best.
Hand in hand. Yeah. Fingers interlocked. Mo?
Jason brings up a good point. Marsh, the player is already dictating how do you run your team, displacing a young third baseman if he stays. Yeah. You know what though? It's not Nolan. It's you.
You gave him the deal. You put that on there,
and I don't blame you.
And I don't
that was a sweet deal.
Him.
That was a sweet deal. But you're right. This is an arranged marriage.
And we're together.
Yep.
Till death do us part in 2028.
So now the Cardinals say, okay, fine. That's it. You'll be here.
That's it. It's not like Marshall. You're saying baseman. Figure it out. It's figured out. He'll be here till 2028.
They got to figure it out.
It is
now. It's their problem. It's their problem. They gave him the no trade clause.
Yeah.
They signed him. Mm-hmm. Figure it out.
This is the part of sport. I'll never ever go against a player for exercising their right to do what they earned to do. It's their right. He earned it. Because if a team wants to get rid of you tonight, anyone, they can. Mm-hmm. They will. They will go in it. They want to. And he's like, nah, hell with that. I'm a Cardinal. You don't like it? So what? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? You going to send me home to get paid? I sit on my butt?
I'm going to send you to third base. You got us behind a barrel.
I'll see you. You better believe it. I'll see you at third base. Spring training.
You know, and Carey, you bring this up all the time. You didn't recognize 2 years ago that you weren't a good team. So you didn't get rid of Paul Goldschmidt in time. You know, you could have moved somebody else to first base before you moved Wilson Contreras or even signed him or any of that. You didn't recognize what was going on. So I do not, if he ends up being a Cardinal, I do not feel bad for the Cardinals. I don't. Now, I feel bad for some fans that probably don't want to watch him anymore, or if they were already convinced that he wasn't going to be on the team and were ready to see some of these young players take over. I feel bad from that aspect. But for the Cardinals, they made their bed, and now they have to lie in it if he doesn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Paul says Anthony running loose today. Reel him in. I told you I didn't like the option that I threw out there. I said it 42 times.
Pay him to go away.
No, just play him at third base.
If you're that adamant that you need to open up that spot and you cannot afford to have him on the roster because the money is not the big problem, it's the roster spot, then let him go. Let him walk. Let him go.
No, here's what you're going to do. You're going to play him. You're going to play him every day at third base. And you hope that he finds the fountain of youth for a half a season. And another GM gets drunk as a skunk and wants him at the deadline. That's it.
And he wants to go there.
Correct. And he wants to go there.
Because we keep leaving that part out.
I'm sorry, Carey.
The GM can be drunk as all get out. I'll offer you 3 first-round picks for the next 5 years and for the next 3 years. And Nolan said, nope, I don't want to go there.
You're right.
Nah.
You're right. I wish he played for an SEC team so you wouldn't protect him as much, but but I hear you, Carey. You're right. I got you. Yeah, that's it.
Valid point.
So what do they do though?
You keep him.
We'll
see in spring. We'll see it in Jupiter, man.
What day does it start?
Yeah.
I'll be there.
We'll see in Jupiter
with a smile on my face. I'm happy. I get paid.
Unless unless he's like CD said, he just wants to go back home, and he's fine with playing the Angels, and the Angels are willing to make a deal with you. That's it. It's done.
I got to be honest, man. I just became a huge Nolan Arenado fan.
I
did too. Just became.
I don't know why.
Because spite. It's something about spite.
Okay, but
that
like
lights a fire in
deal?
me. I do, but I like the fact that he said, "The hell with y'all. I'm here." Mm-hmm. It's the spite for me. Like when you get to control something in your own destiny, it's like, nah, hell with y'all.
And here's the thing, though. Like, there's still other teams that could be players in this. So, like, let's not automatically assume that he's going to be a Cardinal. The Yankees, the Red Sox.
He has to say he wants to go there.
Yeah.
Well, I understand
he just nixed a deal with the Astros. You know how many home runs he could have hit in that park?
That is true.
You know how many times he could hit the wall?
Nolan, call me. We can talk. Yeah. I'm a fan, man. Yeah. Tip of the cap, brother. Exercise your rights. Do what you got to do.
This is weird.
This is lovely, man. I might become a Cardinal fan again. I'm back. I'm back. They got me back. Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
You said you're a Cardinal fan. You're really just a Nolan Arenado fan.
He plays for the Cardinals, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Is he a Cardinal? All right.
He's going to be, too.
There you go.
There are two lines of thinking, and I fall into this category too, Carey. I think this is what you're talking about, where you want the Cardinals to win and you want them to succeed, but for whatever reason, you just want to see this front office fail.
They already have.
No, because they want them gone. They want something new. We got to wait another year.
Yeah, you got to wait 3.
Well, with Nolan, yeah. But
you want them to see what they have built and see it come crashing down. I hate saying that, but there's a little that pettiness.
Sure.
If you have pettiness in you, you kind of like it in a sense.
Houston was offering so much. He was like, nah. Why the hell would I leave here and let them get that?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say you're getting in return? The first round and what else? Nah, I'm good. I'll stay here.
Okay. Great. We'll see you in spring training. All right, we'll continue our conversation on this. If you want to leave us a mic drop, let us know your thoughts. Nolan Arenado, yesterday, nixed a deal that would have sent him to Houston. Astros were willing to pick up 40 to 45 million, according to John Denton and Mark Feinstein of MLB.com. And he said, no thanks. So we'll do some mic drops. Marshy?
We're just going to text from the 314. Why are we so surprised he declined the Astros? They weren't on his list. I'm confused.
Well, no, we're not surprised. Look, we're going to talk. Let me let you into our world here for a second. I know you probably already know this, but excuse my me being kind of condescending. We're a sports show. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about this. I don't think anybody's surprised that he did it. It's still a big news story, though.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say we're idiots.
That was a very respectful way. I'm actually very proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Because I thought you were going to eviscerate this person. I thought you were going to cut him or her to shreds and stand over the body and say, "Look what you made me do."
Now,
you've seen me do that,
Carey. Despite your efforts all day, he is still having a good day.
Oh yeah,
you know
what's happening? Know what's happening on Sunday, right?
Yeah, Michael Penix Jr.
I get to watch a left-handed quarterback
named Michael.
Black guy.
Play for the Falcons.
That's right.
I've seen that story before. He was pretty good.
It's been a while. Instead of this is a sports show, Waterboy. Ish. All right. Again, we'll throw out some mic drops if we get some in. Nolan Arenado nixes a deal to Houston. We'll continue to have that conversation and what that could potentially mean for the Cardinals on the field. That's next.
What's trending now in the world of sports?
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
What's trending now is brought to you by Goodwill, creating opportunities and changing lives. Together, building a brighter future. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
So very quick, what's trending and what's trending if you're just hopping in your car right now, you don't know what's going on in the world of the Cardinals. Well, Nolan Arenado, according to Mark Feinsand and John Denton, Nolan Arenado blocked a potential trade to the Astros yesterday. According to sources, Astros and Cardinals were in discussions on a potential trade involving the third baseman, but Arenado informed St. Louis that he will not waive his no-trade clause to go to Houston. The Cardinals were willing to send $15 to $20 million to the Astros as part of the deal to help pay down Arenado's salary. The money the Cardinals were willing to include would have brought the Astros' commitment down to $40 to $45 million over 3 years. Source also says that the talks are still ongoing between the clubs, though the source indicated that the Astros aren't holding out much hope that a deal will get done.
Yeah, and Katie Wu said, and she put out on X 3 minutes ago, per sources, part of Arenado's decision stemmed from a preference to not make a decision this early in the offseason. It is unclear whether the Astros will continue heavily pursuing Arenado or pivot to other options. And that kind of plays into the audio that we played earlier in the show with Katie Wu and Trevor Rosenthal. So interesting. I think him holding out a little bit could end up screwing over the Cardinals in a sense. But like, dude, that's his decision.
Yeah, let's get that out. All right, like none of us are making it personal with Arenado.
No, I am. I'm the president of his fan club.
The other way.
The hell are you talking about? Give me a hat. This guy.
N.A.
Yes.
We're gonna get Carey. All of a sudden, he's back.
I'm back. Where my glasses at, man?
All of a sudden, Carey's back.
Nolan Arenado. You gotta love it, man. I love the spiteful. Don't just wait. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I don't know. I don't want to make a decision this early. I'm just gonna sit back and kick my feet up and see how this whole thing plays out. I'm excited about being a Cardinal. See y'all in 2025. Go Cards. Gotta love it.
I would be interested to know what he wants. Because we all assume why he wants to play for a contender. Okay. The Angels were on apparently his okay list. So it can't be only contention because the Angels haven't won anything in ever, Bob.
It could be one city.
I don't think the Angels won with the Angels in the outfield, did they?
I think
they won in 2002.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because of the rally monkey.
Yeah.
They cheated with the monkey. You know?
I don't think they cheated, Anthony.
Cheated.
They were playing a team that
saw it.
Yeah, never mind. Whatever.
They were playing against a guy who.
I mean, he was pretty damn good.
That team was loaded. Jeff Kent, Barry Bonds. But I would be interested to know what essentially he wants. He's got the money. You don't have to worry about the money. I thought it would be a chance to play for a winner. That's essentially why he got out of Colorado. Maybe he just wants to be here. Maybe he just wants to be here. And if so, you got him for another 3 years.
We want
He's
him
got
here.
the money to pay for the zoo lights, the Christmas
that's
lights.
true.
He's paid already.
So
Must like it.
there you have it. He's going to be a Cardinal, I think. So even when Alex Bregman is out, or it finds a spot, I don't think that necessarily frees up everybody to say, oh, well, now we want Nolan Arenado. Because they can get him right now.
Yeah.
And
Maybe they think they still can get Alex Bregman first, though.
Maybe
that's the holdup. Or maybe Nolan Arenado has one city in mind.
It's a great
and
city.
that's where he wants. I mean, he played you said it, Marsh. He had the Dodger Blue song on his Instagram page.
Well, maybe that was actually his feeling blue because he knows he's not going.
Maybe
It's a good song.
he just liked the song.
Yeah. Or maybe that's where he wants to
That
be.
doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if this could irritate teams, though, that are interested in him if he is wanting to wait a little bit in the offseason where they're thinking, Come on, man. Like, we're trying to build our team right now. Like, we can't just be waiting around because we got to make moves right now to figure out what we got heading into spring training.
Yeah.
And so, hey, you know what? We're just going to move on.
One thing I can be pretty sure of, don't know him, but I can be pretty sure he's not a dummy. I can be pretty sure that he understands that waiting is not beneficial to anyone other than himself. Mm-hmm. I'm not in a rush because I don't give a damn. I'm going to get my money regardless of whether I'm here or in LA or in New York or in Boston or wherever I decide to play. Mm-hmm. I can slow play it because guess what? The cards are on my side. I got all of them. I got everything I need. I'm going to be playing baseball somewhere. I'm going to be paid to play baseball somewhere next year by the St. Louis Cardinals, more than likely.
You know, something that you guys always say, and I think it's apt here, I think it applies here, this is basically like making a trade.
They got him back.
Got a 10-time Gold Glover, future Hall of Famer back.
Look at that.
For nothing.
For nothing. Well, you got to pay him, but it's essentially nothing.
Well, not his full salary. All right. Leave us a mic drop. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Nolan Arenado nixing the deal? We didn't really touch on, like, okay, well, if he is here in St. Louis, what does this do? Because you're not going to have a roster spot. Third base is now spoken for again. So what does it do with what do you do with Nolan Gorman? That's next on 101 ESPN. If you're dealing with a vehicle right now that you've had enough of, you're tired of it, maybe it doesn't start half the time, get down to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum and do so before the end of the year because they have over 700 new and-used vehicles all in one location with discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. They've got their massive year-end dealer discounts going on. You can get different new Nissan models, like up to $11,900 off MSRP. Low financing rates available right now. They've got available no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans or no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles. As always, at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, they've got their qualified new and used vehicles that come with the complimentary lifetime warranty, plus all new Nissans come with the 30-day return promise. And no one offers this option. 3 free oil changes included through the Nissan Maintenance Care Plan. So if you're in the market, head to AutoCentersNissan.com, look at all of the different makes and models that they have, head down to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you, and pick out your next new or used vehicle at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum.
Arenado did what he has earned the right to do. He earned the right to sign a contract with a no-trade clause, and then he executed it. That is telling the Cardinals he is not going to play for someone who does not have betting odds to win at least their league, if not the World Series as a whole. My opinion is probably an unpopular one. He exercised his right to do that. You can exercise your right to leave him on your team, leave him on your roster, and not play him. That's not going to make him happy. That's not how he is going to get his stats. That's not how he's going to get his ring. But you are and should be committed to playing young players. If he won't go somewhere that is a legitimate contender because he wants to only go to the top 2 teams, that's fine. He just won't play.
So that was Drew. Excellent mic drop. And for the record, we all agree. He did earn the contract. Carey had mentioned that before. I agree with Carey. I know March feels the same way. He earned the contract. He earned the no-trade clause. And just like Drew said, he had every right / opportunity to exercise the no-trade clause. Done on that.
Yep.
You can be in your feelings if you want. You can talk about how, frustrating it is to not see him move on and free up a spot maybe for Nolan Gorman to play third base. Fine. But for me, I'm playing him.
Yeah.
If I'm
paying him,
if I'm the owner of the Cardinals, if I'm the DeWitts, or I'm just me, you're gonna play. You don't want to go to Houston, fine. You're gonna play third base. And if you want to win, you're gonna play a whole lot better than you did last year and the year prior. So I'm paying you.
Yep.
You don't want to go anywhere. You're gonna play third base, and then I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with a young guy like Nolan Gorman. Because that's now the question.
It is.
That was the thing. If Arenado gets dealt this offseason, Gorman goes to third, Donovan full-time to second.
Yep.
Your outfield gets freed up a little bit. End of discussion. But now Arenado is likely to be here because, again, I could be wrong on this. I thought, I just said it, I think 45 minutes ago that I truly believed that Arenado would be dealt.
Thought it was a done deal.
I thought they would find a partner, and I actually said Houston. I said he probably goes to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong about that, and I could be wrong here. I don't think there's going to be a market for him that he's okay with. So he's going to be at third base. Mason wins your shortstop. Now
Who's
what?
at second?
Now what?
Contreras is at first.
Does Gorman become a part-time player?
Nah.
Do you trade one of these outfielders? That's the question.
Who do you trade?
Well, you're kind of redundant in center right now.
Well,
with Victor Scott and Ciani.
Okay.
2 guys that can run defenders, 2 guys that showed a little bit
So
a little bit of offense.
My thought on that is I think if you were to trade one of them, it would be Ciani because I think the upside is higher for Victor Scott. But again, if you trade Ciani at this point, what do you get in return? For me, it's always about, it's not just about moving people and moving people out. What am I getting back?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to trade Victor Scott, in my opinion, because I feel like the ceiling is higher. Like, he has more. And Ciani played outstanding last year. Like, he was outstanding. He showed up and showed out. But I still think Victor Scott has more.
Yeah.
Eventually. But when I'm thinking about, if I'm thinking about moving on, but then that's still, you're still crowded. That's center field. You still got, now you got 2 left fielders. You got 2 center fielders, you got 2 left fielders, or you got 3 center fielders and 1 left fielder. Like, you still are 2 bodies too many.
Mm-hmm.
Because one position is not freeing up the opportunity to put those players where they need to go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, hey, I'm always going to root for the players. Old, young, we don't get this career span is so short in the grand scheme of things. 10 years is a long time, but 20 to 30 is not a long time in your life, right? That's a fraction of your entire life. If you're able to play from 20 to 30, if you're able to play from 20 to 35, 15 years, still a small fraction of your overall life. I'm going to root for players to be empowered, to do what they feel they can do. If you don't want to go play for another team, you earned that right, because a player like me didn't have the option. When they cut me, they said, go. You got to see you later. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Has it? It's not fun for me. I got to pack all this stuff up. I had my mom and aunt come down from St. Louis and pack up another apartment.
Where was that?
In Atlanta.
Oh.
Well, I go to Tampa.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have released
I got to
you.
go. So this is when you are a player and a former player, a current player, you generally root for players unless they are jerks. But the person that has earned the right to not be traded, the person that has played well enough to be considered a future Hall of Famer or a potential locked-in Hall of Famer, you earned that right. Figure it out. Ain't my problem.
Yeah.
I don't care. And you earned that right to do that because they don't care when they want to get rid of you. They want to move on from you for their benefit. So I'm going to do what's in my benefit because now we're at a standstill. Like we are locked eyes. Who's going to blink first?
Yeah.
That's how I envision it. Now I don't know if that's what it is, but he's telling you I'm not going to Houston. At least not today. And probably not anytime I'm gonna sit back and go over some things and figure it out.
He could go to Houston 9 times out of 10, but not today. Not tonight.
Let's hear from Nicholas, who left us a mic drop.
Guys, Nolan Arenado wanted to be in St. Louis. He's always said, I'm going to be a Cardinal. Good for Nolan. Way to stick it to the front office for people not wanting to spend money. Good for him. I'm glad. That front office has been cheating out money for freaking years. And I don't blame him for not going out for Soto or Ohtani or anything like that. But really, Bryce freaking Harper was on the market and got what he got with Philadelphia, and you're not even going to do that because you think it's too expensive. And you wonder why people in Busch Stadium don't show up. People are idiots. Good for Nolan. I like him. He was always my favorite player. Good for him. See you guys.
Thanks, Nicholas.
I stand with Nolan.
Marsh, when did you leave the studio and
change my name?
Yeah, record that.
And change my voice?
That's what Nicholas just said. You sounded like that in one of the breaks earlier.
He was always my favorite player.
There you go.
I spent months wanting that guy to live. Nope, he's my favorite player.
It is kind of ironic. And I know what Nicholas is saying, but it is kind of ironic to say, like, the front office is cheap. They better pay Nolan's full salary now. They had to pay him. But I get what he's saying.
I genuinely think that people, they love their Cardinals. They love Cardinals baseball. They cannot stand the people that run the organization.
Well, they got tired of it.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. We also, I'm sorry, we kind of saw this unraveling happen. It's been like this for a while. Fans told you. If you go back to like 20, let's get out of the pandemic here, but like, I don't know, 21. You go 21. All of a sudden, it was August that people stopped showing up. Then it was July, that late July, it was June. People stopped showing up. They had more and more red seats in that stadium the later the years went on because they knew the product wasn't up to standards.
I would say that is true other than 2022, and there's a main reason for that.
Right.
The main.
The
machine.
The lone exception, of course. And I wonder if he didn't get on that tear and you didn't win 84 games in a row, what the stadium
The guy almost retired midway through the year.
Yeah. I mean, that could have, think about that. Think if it just did not go well. You brought him back. You didn't set out to bring him back. In spring training, you weren't happy with what you were getting out of Juan Yepes and whoever else was going to be like your DH platoon. And you're like, well, let's bring in Albert.
I think it's funny, and it is what it is now, but when you have Albert Pujols praising Juan Yepes, and then not even like a year later, he's not even in your organization anymore.
Yeah, he gone. Waterboy brings up a good point in the snake pit. Houston Sports Show didn't want to say Nolan Arenado, his name, the way that we do here at 101 ESPN. That's what happened.
That is.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Where's the?
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
The gridiron guys part of that message. Get cut
come
off?
on! Oh, gridiron guys would have been spicy today. We probably should have did one.
I tried, but I couldn't get here in a timely fashion.
You tried what?
Well, he knew we were talking baseball.
My
That's all he
my
had on
phone's
his
been
mind.
on.
Yeah, I texted you at 1:30.
No, I don't see one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't get that message, huh?
No, I didn't.
He had lightning bolts in his eyes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That was last night.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. We're going to stick with this. We'll continue to take your mic drops on the Nolan Arenado situation. It's kind of interesting the way people are looking at this. It's almost turning into, unlike the Torrey Krug situation, where I feel like people are mad at Torrey Krug. I get the sense that people are like, fine, screw you, Cardinals. So maybe it's kind of got that feel right now. We'll take your mic drops. We'll continue to talk about Nolan Arenado nixing a deal yesterday to go to the Houston Astros as the Fast Lane continues next on 101 ESPN. Sound Story. That's going to be your next great gift idea. With the holidays here, we have the perfect gift idea. It's called Sound Story. Now you can do a 1 hour long interview with your mom, your dad, and actually it's recorded by us right here at the studios. You can choose me or Tim McKernan or one of the other voices that we have here to interview your loved one, whether it is a mom or a dad or, a guardian or maybe a grandparent. And they have an opportunity to tell their life stories and making sure that you and your children will have these memories saved forever. And now, new to the 2024 holiday season, Sound Story is offering the option of a video interview to make sure both the stories and the images are preserved. It's a gift that you'll never regret giving, something your entire family will love. And we have a special offer, too, for you. Just go to mysoundstory.com, enter the promo code ESPN to get a special of 10% off a holiday gift card for Sound Story. Again, mysoundstory.com, enter the promo code ESPN to get this special of 10% off a holiday gift card for Sound Story. You're going to love it. Your family members are going to love it. Holidays are here. Give them the perfect gift. Sound Story. last night on 101 ESPN. We've been talking about it for the last hour or so, but Nolan Arenado blocked a potential trade to the Houston Astros, according to Mark Feinsand and John Denton of MLB.com. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. According to the sources, the Cardinals and Astros were in discussions about a potential trade involving Arenado, but he informed the Cardinals that he will not waive his no-trade clause to go to Houston. The Cardinals were willing to send $15 to $20 million to the Astros as part of the deal to help pay down Arenado's salary. But the 8-time All-Star, who is set to earn $74 million over the next 3 years, said, not going to happen. So we've been having the discussion of what's next steps now for the Cardinals. I think that the market has shrunk even more now because I think if you're Arenado, why wouldn't you want to go to a team that's a full contender? Unless he just simply wants to go back home and then the Angels are in L.A., just like the Dodgers. But the Dodgers are saying no. You said no to the Astros.
For now.
For now. Yankees, Red Sox, we can have those discussions, but does he want to play with either of those teams? I don't know.
I had a question. $15 million is a third of what the Cardinals own, like $60 million. I felt like it would be more that they would be paying.
Me too.
I felt like it would be half, more than half, 2/3, 3/4 of the salary in order to move on from him. Like I'm surprised that Houston was like, yeah, well, you can just take $15 million off. We'll pay the other $45 million over the next 3 years.
Here's how it breaks down. So he's set to earn $74 million over the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. The Rockies are on the hook for $10 million.
Okay, so we're at 64.
$12 million of the deal is deferred, bringing the present-day value of what's owed to $60 million. The money the Cardinals were willing to include would have brought the Astros commitment down to roughly $40 to $45 million.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I would figure that
it'd be more.
You take the $45 million, and we'll pay the 12.
Sure.
15, whatever it is.
Right. And we have no idea what else the Astros are willing to. It wasn't going to be.
It doesn't matter.
A decent prospect.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Because Nolan said, I don't want to go there. So.
Yep.
You could have paid the entire thing. Yeah, until training camp, spring training starts, and I'll maybe make a decision. Maybe I'll decide. Maybe he'll decide when somebody goes down or something happens around the league, and he's like, you know what? That's a good place. You can trade me now. Well, Nolan, we're committed to you at this point. I don't want to be here.
Who cares? Get to third base. All right, here's Chris, who left us a mic drop.
Yeah, on the Arenado thing, I celebrate it, respect, whatever you want to say. Him exercising his no-trade clause, I am just really confused because why would he not want to go anywhere with a few exceptions, like, maybe the A's and the White Sox? Why would he not want to go anywhere else other than St. Louis if he wants to contend? The Astros are selling off pieces, but they're still the Astros. They're arguably a lot better managed as an organization than the Cardinals. They're shopping Bregman, so he'd have a spot at third, or he could DH or whatever. Why not go somewhere else? This team has about a 0.0059% chance of making the playoffs in 2025, and the Astros have to have a better chance than that. 25, 26 teams have to have a better chance than that. So that's all I'm confused about.
Yeah, and Chris, it's a good question. I had asked last segment, like, what does he want? I'd be interested to know. We don't know. We can't just assume that it's all about being, playing for a contender, because obviously Houston's still a contender. No, Kyle Tucker or not, that's still a team that's loaded, and to Chris's point, they know what they're doing. So it can't just all be about contention, because the Angels are also on Arenado's okay to trade me here list.
Do we know that? Do we know what the list is?
Yeah, we do. I don't have it in front of me, but the Angels were on there, which was shocking. I think the Mets were on there. Mets, Angels, Dodgers.
Somewhere on the coast.
Two other teams. Yeah. So
West Coast, East Coast.
I don't know, though. He might be complete. He might want to be here. He might just want to stay here. He did opt in twice here. He had 2 opt-outs in his contract. Waived them both. Did not exercise his opt-outs. So perhaps he's cool with being here.
I'm looking at the John Denton wrote on December 24th, in addition to having the Dodgers, Padres, and Angels on his wish list, Arenado would also be willing to accept a trade to the Phillies, Mets, or Red Sox.
Okay.
Per a source close to the negotiations.
So the Yankees were not on that list.
No.
So we can probably take them off.
So, yeah, maybe he's waiting.
The Mets aren't.
The Padres need a third baseman?
No.
Okay.
He could go to first, though.
He did say he would be willing to go to first base.
Yeah. So, and there's some people that brought that up in the snake pit as well.
Well, if the Astros weren't on his list, why would they even try?
I don't know. Because I guess you owe it to yourself if you want him to at least pick up the phone and call.
Pick up the phone, baby.
Hey, I'm in the zone, baby.
Do we have another mic drop? Do we have any more mic drops?
We got a few more coming in. Let me just grab those real quick. I see one from 618.
Oh,
okay. There we go.
It's been a while.
The interesting thing now, too, is, okay, what do you do? What do you do with the rest of the roster here? How do you play this out? And to Marsh's point, you just got to figure it out.
You got to wait.
But maybe Nolan Gorman is just a part-time player.
Do you know?
Maybe he's just a bench bat.
Do you know that?
No, I'm just saying. We're throwing out options, right? And if you're hell-bent on having Jordan Walker be in the outfield and making a bunch of mistakes out there, then
you do not like him.
I don't like him playing in the outfield at all.
Where are you going to put him at third base?
I want him to be the DH.
Where are you going to put Alec Burleson?
First base.
Where are you going to put? Whoa, what the hell?
Behind
you
the
got
plate.
a first baseman. Where's Savon Herrera going to play? You got too many good players, Anthony. You can't play them all.
Part-time.
What?
I wouldn't move Wilson Contreras to first base.
You hush your mouth.
You got worse at two positions now.
You
defensively.
wanted both Herrera and Contreras in the lineup at the same time.
Did you see how they were hitting when I wanted that?
You're going to get it now. This is what you wanted. This is what you asked for.
I still care about defense, though.
Do you?
Yes.
Guess what?
What?
If you don't score, you can't win. Told you to look this up a while ago. You still refuse to.
If you allow too many runs, Carey.
You can score more.
Just score more.
You can score more. You can always score more. Okay? Now, if you don't score any, you're going to lose. I promise you.
I don't think you value defense.
I do.
Like maybe you should.
I don't think you're understanding that Wilson Contreras is your first baseman. That's where he is. All right? You know?
Can he play first?
We'll find out.
Has anybody asked this? Has anybody asked whether or not the guy can play first base?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
If we have so many good players, then we should be contenders. Did I say that?
No, I said it. Said we got a lot of good players.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't catch on to that.
I don't know why either.
Because I don't think we have enough good players.
We got more than enough, Anthony.
What?
That's why you got to play Wilson and Herrera at the same time. We don't know where Nolan Gorman is going to play. We got so many issues with guys we got to get at bats for. That means you got a good team, Anthony.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
So
it doesn't.
We got a mic drop from Devin. The 618 did send one in, and it was talking about Nolan Arenado maybe punching Mo in the face. So I don't know if we're going to play that.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if we'll play that one, but we did get one from Devin, and it is pretty funny. Actually takes a shot at you, Anthony.
Okay, fair enough.
I honestly don't care. It doesn't matter that much. I mean, just cut them. Why not? Just cut them. You're going to just have to eat it. What are you going to get back in return anyways? A bag of balls, a new washer and dryer. Maybe Anthony's dropped lunch on the floor. I mean, it could be anything. A meatball with some lint on it. This is why the Rockies traded him to us, because they knew somehow deep down that he would screw us over too. So here we are, 4 years later or whatever, and we don't want him. And so now he's our problem, and he's going to make the Cardinals his problem, too. I just cut myself. So
I thought he was going to curse there.
Do you trade him for a dropped lunch, or do you just cut him? I don't know. We need the kids to play at this point. So, hey, you're sitting on the bench, Nolan. See you, bud. I don't know.
So, Droid FX says this was him.
Yeah, this is Droid.
Nice. So it's Droid.
Oh, Devin
is
right?
Droid.
Devin is Droid. Yeah.
The Broncos fan.
Devin beat one of us in the Gauntlet, I believe.
What?
Droid. I don't remember who.
I like his addition of the dropped meatball.
Droid did beat Carey in hockey.
I know. I listen. It's like a chip on my shoulder.
You knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what day it was? What month?
I don't. Feels like
October.
October?
Oh,
no,
way
November.
off.
Was it November? What was it?
No.
It was a while ago.
It has been a while. January.
Oh, okay. I knew it.
This year has flown by.
January?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What month? Where are we?
I felt we just played Droid.
Yeah, Droid must have played again.
Yeah, almost a year ago.
No way. Droid played
he
recently.
He played recently.
Droid, you text in and make sure we're not crazy. Because you played within the last couple of months. Last month.
Within the last couple of months he played. Yeah. No?
Yeah. Anthony, I keep a record of all these things.
I'm waiting on this text message to come through. Because, I know that was not January. The last time we heard.
No, I agree.
Droid / Devins.
I don't question Marsh's.
Hey, maybe I wasn't here. And Droid
you might not have been
snuck in.
It was a long time ago, he says.
No, I didn't play the Gauntlet.
I didn't play the Gauntlet anytime recently.
God.
Wow. At least we're there. At least we're in the Asano bin together, man. Because I was thinking it was October.
Messing with me, man.
It's been months. So that's different.
Yeah, months, including January, months ago.
It's months ago, like October. It's been months.
2 months.
Maybe August.
Maybe.
Definitely not January.
Droid here. January was, in fact, the Gauntlet. Oh, no.
CD and Anthony owe Marsh an apology.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you do.
Sorry, Marsh.
That you feel that way.
All right, biggest question of the day next. I want to win ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Your St. Louis Blues lost to the New Jersey Devils last night by a final score of 4-1. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow night. Pregame will start at 5 o'clock, and puck drop will be at 6. And, of course, you can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN. Big news of the day, the Astros had a deal in place to acquire Nolan Arenado. But the Cardinals' third baseman, he declined to waive his no-trade clause. Per multiple league sources, Arenado prefers not to make a decision this early in the offseason. We have been discussing that. If you missed any of those conversations or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, time for the biggest question of the day here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. By the way, we figured it out. We figured out the mystery. First of all, Marsh, we are sorry.
Yeah.
We should have never questioned your record keeping when it comes to the Gauntlet.
You
That's
got it all
number one.
down.
So Carey and I apologize
Yeah,
for real.
I do
for
apologize.
realsies.
Yep.
Okay?
Zeus, this is on you.
Zeus, this is your fault. It was Zeus.
you. Not Droid.
Zeus came. We played him a couple of months ago. We thought it was Droid. Okay? So at any point, and we know that you're in the snake pit right now, Zeus, because we can see you. You could have stepped up. You could have said,
Nah,
hey,
that was
fellas,
me.
that was me. That you faced a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Not Droid.
Yeah, that's got me going crazy.
And now you let Carey and I just...
in a time warp machine or something.
You left us out to dry, Zeus. This is your fault. Okay. All right, got that out. Thank you. All right.
We ready for the biggest question?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
There can only be one question after all that we've been talking about today.
Will Michael Penix? No. Okay, go ahead.
I hope so. I hope he plays really well. Will Nolan Arenado be traded?
You know what? We got to start doing that again. I stopped doing that because I figured he gone.
Yeah, we've been taking it for granted, I think.
But Nolan Arenado will not be dealt.
Really?
To me, there's not enough market on either side. What?
Zeus says, I have not been on the Gauntlet.
Carey.
You know what?
He is
Zeus
a bet
was
the
a bet the
board.
board contestant.
Hey, can you start this over?
You gonna start again?
Can you start
try
this?
again?
Can you start the
I'm
whole
looking
segment
through
over?
who this could be.
No,
I don't know. It's that. It's Zeus was on bet the board. Not
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Sorry,
we've had,
Zeus.
I'm going through the Gauntlet names. We've had like DJ Patty Cakes on, but that was in May. We've had Grant Francis Fan Club on. That was in June.
It was definitely bet the board is
It
what I'm
was Zeus.
thinking.
Yeah.
We had Buzz recently on. You know, all
Zeus for
these-
bet the board with
these
Jamie.
names.
Yeah.
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 So here's the thing, Zeus. It's not your fault. Carey and I, we made a mistake again, and we're sorry. This
is on us.
This
You
is
and I.
This is tough.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Hope you accept our apology.
Walrus King. This is just a rehearsal, guys. Don't worry about it. No, we're live. Sorry, Zeus. You know what? Sorry, Snake Pit. You know, let's just, we apologize to the entire Snake Pit, our Air Alliance team.
Yeah. We got to be better.
Studio cam there.
And we will.
Okay. Anyways, no. The Cardinals are not going to trade Nolan Arenado. Not because they don't want to, but because the market, I think, is too light. I don't know where he wants to go. And if the teams are accurate that Carey had read off from the previous...
From December 10th.
From December 10th.
Not the 24th, if I said that.
December 10th.
I can't see the future.
Then I don't think he's going to be dealt. Those teams are either set, might not be interested, have already said they're not interested, like the Dodgers. So I think he's going to be a Cardinal next year. Now, if he comes out of the gates, on fire, has a couple of big months, maybe they revisit it, but I think he's going to be a Cardinal. That's where I'm at, Carey. How about you?
I agree. I don't think, right now we have no reason to believe that he's going to be moved. If they could have, and it's still early, like we don't know for sure, but if they were able to get one of those dancing partners that I spoke about earlier, I'm sure they would have. And one would think that maybe those partners were unavailable. They didn't want to pursue a trade with the St. Louis Cardinals, so the Cardinals went in the direction that they felt would be a viable option in the Houston Astros, and Nolan Arenado said, no, thank you. So, if I can't go where I want to go, I'll just stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
No need to make a big fuss about it. It is what it is. And the Cardinals are going to have to deal with that however it comes. Whatever the next steps are for that, we'll know.
Very true.
Yeah.
Somebody keeps bringing up, or multiple people have brought up, I should say. Multiple people have brought up Seattle. What about Seattle? Now, the Mariners weren't a team that you had mentioned, right?
No.
So that's one thing. So the Mariners are not on his approved trade list, just like the Astros weren't. Doesn't mean that they can't do a deal. He would just have to okay it. The Mariners would make a lot of sense. Right now, Dylan Moore is probably their starting third baseman. He's played multiple positions. You can kind of move him around. From a fit standpoint, sure. From a contender standpoint, okay. But if, as we learn here with Houston, if the Mariners aren't on his no-trade list, and they're not, I just don't see it happening. Which is why I keep coming back to, I think it's too soft of a market, and I think he'll be a Cardinal.
Well, especially if those are the only, like I said, it says Dodgers, Padres, Angels, Phillies, Mets, or Red Sox. If he's steadfast in that I'm not going anywhere except for those 6 teams.
Yeah, then you're done.
You have, and those,
we're done here.
Exactly. And none of those 6 teams are willing to make a deal with you. You seem to be out of gas. You're out of luck.
You'd be screwed.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back. Bet the board. 3 stars of the day. Criticisms and compliments next on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, including our conversation about Nolan Arenado throughout the last half of the second half of the show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN Schaefer Door Company mobile app. Podcast always brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Blues fans, listen up. You can also enter the Verizon Discover NHL Winter Classic sweepstakes. It's your chance to see your St. Louis Blues take on the Chicago Blackhawks on New Year's Eve in the Discover NHL Winter Classic in Chicago. One winner will receive 4 tickets to the game plus a $3,000 gift card. Visit select St. Louis area Verizon locations or go to 101ESPN.com and enter this Wednesday, December 18th. Which is today. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Missouri or Illinois, age 18 years or older to enter. Get all the details now at 101ESPN.com. While you're at it, why don't you check out Marshy tomorrow night for Thursday Night Football?
Well, we're in the Pick'em Challenge. It is
over.
No, it's not.
It is absolutely over.
You're right, Anthony. But regardless,
those guys are going to win.
Regardless, each week, the Rizzuto Show and us, the Fast Lane, we do battle it out in the Pick'em Challenge. Sometimes we come together just to hang out and watch some football in person. So you can join Moon and me, Andrew Marsh, from the Fast Lane. That is tomorrow, 6:30 to 8:30 at the Cybergs in St. Peter's. Come watch the Thursday Night Football game, Broncos, Chargers. Get signed up for some Point and 101 ESPN giveaways and enjoy a cold Bud Light. It's all brought to you by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy, Anthony.
Nice job there, Marshy.
You ready for those? If you get a chance, get by Moon and figure out what their secret sauce is. I mean, because they're beating the hell out of us. So.
The talent.
They're so special. Like those guys and gal are
yeah, it's really just over. I just think it's talent. That's about it.
They're more talented.
They're more talented. They're better.
Yeah.
Overall. Bet the board.
Yes. Anthony, I'm sorry, you and Carey did not pick up points. We're still trying to decide if Carey said 33.5 or 30.5 for Dame Lillard.
Remember.
I wrote down 33.5, but I've been wrong before, so we'll have to go back and look at that. But as the standings look right now, I lead with 8 points. Jamie has 7. Anthony, you have 6, and Carey has 5.
This is terrible.
That hurts.
I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars money line tonight. They take on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And Jamie?
Well, Jamie, I think he likes the over in the Florida Panthers-Minnesota Wild game. Over 5.5 at -105.
Marsh, this is not, I promise you, this was not me intending to do this. I don't love all the games tonight. I did notice that Toronto has beaten Dallas like 6 straight times.
Yeah.
Give me the Maple Leafs plus
of course
115. Maybe I'll double dip here.
I don't have a pick.
Yes, you do.
You give it up?
Both of you guys took my picks.
What?
Yeah, you did. Give me the Utah Hockey Club over the Vancouver Canucks.
It's a great pick.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the best I've ever seen.
I don't feel like you're being honest when you say that.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or tonight, I guess.
But not tonight.
You ready for the 3 stars of the day? Could be a lot of things. We've talked about a lot of things today. Third star of the day is, unfortunately, having lightning bolts in your eyes.
Oh, no.
You know, migraines are not, they're terrible.
But they are. But you had a great night.
You did.
Despite having those lightning bolts in your eyes.
Yep.
Yeah. Second star of the day goes to Crisscross.
Yeah. Crisscross will make you.
The Daddy Mac.
Daddy Mac will
Daddy.
make you.
Ciao.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the first star of the day goes out to remembering things.
Or not.
Or not. Or remembering things how you remember them, which is
misremembering.
What Carey and I seem to do a lot. Once again,
our apologies.
Our apologies to Zoosh and the snake bit. That was rough. That's on us. Yeah.
Android.
Yep, we apologize. Big time.
We'll be better.
And you know what? Marsh, for that matter.
Yeah,
because we decided
did.
to take down everybody.
All 3 of them.
You know, sometimes they say you got to stop and think.
We just
and
kept
Carey,
going.
you just kept going.
No way we're wrong.
No, it must be everybody
is.
else. And you often say, too, somebody says something to you, and then the next person says something to you. It's the same thing. At some point, you just go, it's probably you.
Probably me.
So, it's probably Carey and I.
Yeah. That take accountability.
Okay. We do have a Blues instant replay show coming up from 6 to 7. Tomorrow night, the Blues will take on the Lightning with pregame at 5 o'clock. For Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.